to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still lights of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Key, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with Coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
I'm talking about Shawty going crazy. People going crazy in these motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it means nothing. Nothing. Got a woman on the bed. Man made the car. Carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to keep us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water. Like the 7 Omega. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. Man make them happy because man make them dark. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced this evening. The air date of this episode is July 23rd, 2024. Okay, and we're on at 6 p.m. here in the Pacific, 9 p.m. in the East. Okay, please call in at 516-418-5996. Also, too, our chat room is open for hate mail. Okay, so with this election, with Biden finally dropping out, you know, the dude is senile for medical reasons. He's unfit to be the president, okay, because it's a stressful job, number one. But now they're pushing Kamala Harris, the current vice president, to try to win the Democratic nomination. Okay, I have reservations about Ms. Harris, and we're going to be on here, ladies and gentlemen, you know, for about 90 minutes. And I said we had a caller call in that dropped. Okay, which is great, which is beautiful. Feel free to call back in. And also, too, please direct all the hate mail to our chat room, okay, because there's no change without controversy. And this is a controversial platform. But also, too, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be reformatting this platform, you know, at the end of next month. And, you know, offer suggestions that we got, you know, from our concerned people and some of our contributors and some of our listeners. So therefore, we're going to bring in our Denver studio, okay, the one and only Mr. Che and Krumah. Greetings, Brother Che. How you be? How you be? Okay. Okay. And then I see off in the chat room, you know, we have Joe Gibson. Okay. And we got Cat 77. Okay, Miss Cat. Yeah, we're familiar with you. Okay. And please call in and press 1. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, and this is what happens when you get old, okay, which I am, is that this is perhaps going to be the most controversial presidential election. I'm sorry? Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. And we got a caller here at 336-565. Okay. And your hand is up. Okay. We're going to unmute your mic. Okay. All right. Okay. You know, we'll talk to Joe. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Hello.
Okay. There.
Hello.
How you doing? 336.
Yeah, it's Joe Gibson here.
Hey, Joe. How you doing? How you feeling?
All right. It's just that, you know, Blog Talk Radio with their censorship bull crap. You know, we were on the show there. We were calling news outlet to, you know, question Kamala Harris, and they hung up on me, you know?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's about right. Because we're really getting ready to crumb bomb on Kamala Harris is because, you know, she was nothing as an attorney general in California. She was nothing as a district attorney in San Francisco before she became the attorney general. On top of that there, too, she left a lot of black men incarcerated under the MJ laws that were revised where the people were supposed to be had the cases dismissed against them, and also, too, they were supposed to have their criminal records expunged. And also, too, Dr. Harris. Oh, yeah, and then Dr. Harris, Madam Vice President, you're welcome to call in, too. Okay, and I call her doctors because, as we all know, that she does hold a doctorate degree in jurisprudence, meaning that she is a lawyer. Okay, and then on top of that as well, too, Donald Trump, well, Donald Trump is Donald Trump, and I hate to say, Joe, but you're going to love this. I think he's going to win by a landslide. I hate to see it happen, but I'm not stupid either, okay? It's because, you know, I had a good mind to go over here to one of these casinos, drop $100, and saying that he will lose. But since Biden dropped out, and he did right, is because the dude is 83, 84 years old, man. The poor man has dementia. He's walking crazy. And then keep in mind, this is an individual.
He had to go, Shabaka. He had to go. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's because when you're state. Oh, yeah. And then, as you know, Joe, that him being the state, he has to make, you know, snap decisions. I'm sorry?
What's that?
Okay. And then the Alaskan right here, we always enjoy the Alaskan, you know what I'm saying? Plus, she is not black. Okay, Alaskan, I'm going to prove your point. No, sir, she is not. Now, her father is from Jamaica. Her mother is from India. And as we do know, they have a system over there in India. And Brother Che has knowledge on that. And I believe you were saying, Brother Che, that she was of the Brahma class. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And in the United States of America, in her class system will be considered the untouchables. You know what I'm saying? It's because as long as you got dippity doo dah.
She's not a natural born citizen. How can she be president?
Okay, no, but that's just it, though, Joe. She is a natural born citizen because she was born in Berkeley, California in 1965. Oh, yes, sir. She was born in California.
She's not. Sarge says she's not. Sarge says he's got a case
put Sarge on. Okay,
now,
yeah,
you know,
Sarge is
smart now.
Okay, and we need Sarge to call in because he's been AWOL. He was offered to co-host. Hey, Mac 285, how you doing? Peace be to you. Okay, Sarge was offered to be the guest host. And I don't know if Sarge, man, you know, got scared, man, or if it was too much pressure on him or what have you. But he didn't show up. He didn't blog talk, as you know, Joe. They went through their shenanigans again. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, all our systems is bad. You know what I'm saying? And we up here paying our food.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Unjustly enriched. They should be prosecuted for fraud. You know?
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. And plus that, Joe, although 9 times out of 10, you and I don't agree with each other, but we're supposed to have the freedom of speech, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You see, so out here, Joe, it's a pleasant 110 degrees out here in this desert of Las Vegas, Nevada. And also, too, Joe, my invitation is still open for you to come out here. And you and I sit out here in the sun, man, at about 115 degrees and what have you. You know what I'm saying? And we're chopping
Never mind. We ain't going to be able to breathe, Shabaka. We can't breathe. Never mind the skin. Damn.
You can't breathe, man. I breathe out here every day in this desert, Joe. Every day I breathe out here in this desert. Hey, Mac 285, okay, he's laughing at us, okay. All righty, but the thing is, though, is this, people. All right, okay, this is going to be the wackiest presidential election, man, that you had since 1968, because with me being an old bastard, I was a child in 1968. I remember Dan Rather getting smashed by Mayor Daley's goon squad on the convention floor in Chicago. And guess what? They're having a Democratic National Convention at this time. You know it, the CHI, the CO, and the GO. You know what I mean? And then, of course, as we all know, ladies and gentlemen, and that Chicago has certain traditions there. After all, it was the home of Al Capone for many, many years. Okay, we do have a caller here with their hand up, Brother Che, you see in the studio, off of 907, and they're more than welcome, you know, to be on mute. Yeah, he already pressed one. Okay, yeah, 907. What's your name and where you calling?
Guys, Hey, Shabaka, real quick, I don't think the one is working. It's not working for a lot of people. Yeah, it wasn't working on my show.
It worked on mine.
Okay. All right. Is this Ron Wreck or is this here the Alaskan?
Hey, this is the boy. I'm up here sweltering at 62 degrees. God damn, would you turn down the heat? God damn it.
You're sweltering. Wait a minute, man. You're sweltering at 62 degrees. Man, it's 110 out here, man, and I feel just fine. Okay, 907. Who is this here? Ron Wreck?
Oh, this is the boy, the Alaskan.
Oh, okay. All right. How you doing, Alaskan? It's always a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I would say about you, Alaskan, over the years, man, that when we disagree agreeably. You know what I'm saying? One thing that we're all in agreement with is that Kamala Harris is unfit to be the vice president of the United States. Okay, now, what do I mean by this? One is she does not identify with the Black experience, although she does have indirect African blood in her from Jamaica, because as we all know, Kingston, Jamaica was a major slave port of the British. Her mother is from India, okay, and they got that class system situation over there, and I'm trying to recall my basic sociology class, the Ida class, the Brahma class, but Brother Che knows about it. And then also, too, that Hayden Biden, you know, he's out of it, man. You know what I'm saying? The man needs to go off into hospice care as far as I'm concerned. You know, the dude could barely walk up the stairs to Air Force One. That would not surprise me in the least, Brother Che. You know what I'm saying? And then also, too, no, I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't. You know, they probably got the dude in hospice care, man, or they probably, you know, got him over there at the executive mansion, you know what I mean, doped up, propped up, or what have you, you know what I mean? So therefore, for all you Trump supporters, you know, the smart money would be riding on Trump, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now, Donald Trump. Well, okay.
Hey,
okay, now Donald Trump. Yes, sir.
Well, what I called in for was to kind of give you an explanation of Sarge's argument without Sarge getting all up on step, you know. And his argument is, per the Constitution, you need to be a natural-born citizen of the United States.
Alaskan Kamala was born in Berkeley, California. No, she was born in Berkeley, California.
Okay, all right. Well, here's the thing, okay? Kamala Harris is a citizen, but she is a 14th Amendment citizen.
Really?
She was born here. She was born here in the United States.
Okay.
Of two foreign nationals. Okay. So she's not had her parents been at least naturalized citizens at the time of her birth. Okay. Then she would be in the class of natural born citizen. She is but let me explain this. She is a citizen, but not a natural born citizen per the idea of what a natural born citizen is compared to the 14th Amendment citizen. Because at the time of her birth, with her parents not being United States citizens, she has actually two other foreign allegiances in her wheelhouse, which would be India and Jamaica. So there is the big, ugly question in our what would you say, in our approach to citizenship. All right.
Okay.
I'm not going to deny. Okay. I'm not going to deny that she's not a citizen. She was born here, and because of that, she was bequeathed American citizenship.
Okay.
And this is a sticky little legal point of definition. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Okay. All righty. Okay.
Listen, I'm not going to argue on that because I haven't seen it or know what the circumstances are about it. All I was trying to do was try to explain what Sarge's real argument is, because I understand what he's arguing. Now, whether he's right or not right, I don't know that either. But, you know, that's the way I understand it, that Sarge lays his argument out. So I just thought I would lay that out there on the table, you know, and we can pick it up and play with it, or we can put it off to the side and leave it be.
Okay. Now, as you know, Alaskan, you know, her record as the Attorney General in California. Okay, yeah, we got an unknown caller calling in. Okay. Just press 1 and we'll be happy to unmute your mic. And I'm wondering if this is Sarge. Okay, it's because we're charging Sarge with the desertion now. Okay, all righty, let's see here. We're unmuting his mic. Sarge, is this you?
No, sorry to disappoint you, it's Kat. But I can clarify up. Hi.
Hey, Kat, how are you?
Something. I'm doing good. How's everybody on the line? I called in to clear up something, clarify something for you all, so you don't spend months arguing about it. The definition of natural born citizen has never been resolved by the Supreme Court. So therefore, Kamala Harris, because she was born in the United States, is qualified to not only be vice president, but president. You cannot be vice president.
Okay, because she was born in Berkeley, California.
Yeah, she's a U.S. citizen, so she's qualified to be president because the Supreme Court has never ruled on a definition of natural born citizen. That's it in a nutshell. So she is qualified. Until the Supreme Court rules what the definition of natural born citizen is, then it's just really ridiculous to even argue about it.
Okay, all righty. Okay. Okay, and then Alaskan, I get that there's for you and Miss Kat to discuss, you know what I mean, is because is that Kamala's, like I said, Kat, you know, I've lived in California when she was the Attorney General. I also lived in California when she was the District Attorney of San Francisco County. Okay, she has a tainted past. Okay, now, I've been getting a lot of comments on my Facebook page and on Stinky Bird, okay, because Musk, that means that's like a foul odor, so I call him Stinky Bird. Okay, and they're saying is, what do you got against Kamala and all this old type of stuff? And I appeared on other platforms, stating how I honestly feel is because I looked at her track record. Okay. There was an initiative when she was the Attorney General in regard, to what they do with your personal information on social media. And it was kind of like restricting them for blatantly, just using, your personal information for the advertisement and all that old type of garbage, right? Okay. She chose not to put it on the ballot. Okay, once again, people, Silicon Valley, which is in California, Stinky Bird, Fake Book, Puke Tube, that other raggedy institution they got down there, Google, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You're using artificial intelligence, you know what I'm saying? Getting all your bank account information, personal information, stuff like that. Okay, and she refused to allow the people of California to put checks and balances on these individuals. Now, there was a gentleman who ran for president by the name of Michael Chang, who was an executive in Silicon Valley. And he was saying is that they're making so much money that they ought to be paying you $1,000 a month for using and accessing your personal information, okay? Kamala. Yes, that's his name. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. I stand corrected. Andrew Yang, which I thought was a pretty good idea, is because they are just making too much money. And then they're talking about, well, the prices is going up and what have you. And any idiot that like me, that took a basic course in macroeconomics, which teaches you about the economy as a whole, as opposed to microeconomics, which is the economy of the firm, right? Okay, yeah, they got the money to be paying us because what do? I mean, all of us is on social media in one form or another. Same thing with the cell phones. What burns up most of your data on your cell phone? What burns up your data on your laptops and on your desktops? It's not you making phone calls. It's not you sending emails, but all that frigging advertisement. 99% of this junk I don't even want, don't need, have no interest in whatsoever, but your vice president, let they do what they want. Laissez-faire recapitalism, Adam Smith, the invisible hand theory, that old senile so-and-so with special effective Grisha formula and crazy glue, who was your president by the name of the one and only Ronald Reagan. And yes, and he and Nancy, were the first family of California before he decided to run for president of the United States. You see what I'm saying? One of the worst presidents going, in my opinion. We can debate that too. Now, there's one president who too was from California. Okay, he was that one that had to get up there and say in 1974, ladies and gentlemen, I am not a crook. He's not a crook. Okay. And it's very, very interesting is that when he had his Saturday Night Massacre, as they referred to it, is that where he had fired a whole lot of the people in his administration, when it was getting real. Now, there's a commentator on CNN by the name of John Dean. And as we all know, John Dean got up before the Watergate Committee in the U.S. Capitol and did, in fact, say that Tricky did give these orders, about, wiretapping, bugging the Democratic National Headquarters. He won re-election. Then he had to resign. And then on August 9th, he says, at 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, Gerald Ford would be your president. Now, Gerald Ford is a man who was neither elected vice president or president. So the fix was in. So what was one of Ford's earlier executive actions? Well, we're pardoning Tricky Dick. You know what I'm saying? We're giving him a full pardon. Then I'll tell you another president who was a Democrat, by the way. You're going to love this one, Sarge, if you're in there. Okay, you're going to love this one here too, Joe Gibson. Okay, who came up by the name of James Earl Carter. Okay. Everybody remember the Patty Hearst case?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I do.
and and who gave her a full pardon. And then under California law, she participated in a bank robbery in which a person came up dead under California law, and which is one of the most hypocritical states, by the way. The states under its law that if anybody dies as a result of you committing a felony, you are automatically hit with murder one. They didn't charge Patricia Hearst with a murder one. You know what I'm saying? And she participated in a Hibernia bank robbery. You see what I mean? Okay. Which somebody died. You see? So this is why, you know, Joe and Sarge and what have you about when we did the show on the O.J. Simpson case. You see what I'm saying? You know, when O.J. had passed away a few weeks back, me personally, I thought that Mr. Simpson, you know, was not guilty. But then there were those who stated that, in fact, that he was. And my question is, we got, I wonder if this is Sarge. Okay. Unknown caller, your mic is on mute if you had your hand up.
Man, you up here talking about you're going to have a show featuring the one and only Sarge, and then you don't have a show featuring the one and only Sarge. Now wait a minute. Now I suppose you're going to try to tell me it wasn't your fault. It was Blog Talk's fault.
Which it wasn't.
I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it.
Sarge. Okay, Sarge. Okay. You got a legitimate beef, okay? You got the defense, but it was hold it, Sarge. But we did go up there and we produced the show and Blog Talk with his shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? You know, they had thrown a monkey wrench in our works, and they done it to Joe Gibson as well too. And actually, what we need to do is get together and go sue these SOBs. You know what I'm saying? Is because you know we're paying our money for this. You see what I mean?
Okay. I'll accept that. But all I'm saying is, don't blame me. Don't blame me. Sarge had nothing to do with it. Don't blame me.
Okay, Sarge, we ain't going to blame you. Yeah, we had Grand Rising for you too, Sarge. And keep in mind, Sarge, we timed Grand Rising, man, just for you and your time zones, because while I'm out here, man, struggling with a cup of coffee to wake up from the night before, man, it's 11 o'clock down there in the great state of Georgia. Where you at, Sarge?
They disagree with you on citizenship, Sarge.
Oh, man, I'm going to tell, man, the only way they can keep me from telling them a new one is if they mute me, because I'm going to whoop their behinds on this one. I've done too much research.
Okay,
I've been researching this issue. I've been researching this issue since 2008. I've read every bit of scholarship I can get my hands on, and I got you cornered on this one.
Okay, Sarge, if you can cut the ring off, and I'm a rope a dope and I'm a blazing days and leave.
Yeah, but you got access to that mute button, man. You got access to that mute button. You be cutting me off when I'm just getting started. And I don't even take that long.
Come on, Sarge. You got the floor, Sarge. Come on, Sarge.
Let me explain to you the purpose of Article 2, Section 1, Clause 5 of the United States Constitution. Now, what does it say? Let's not talk about what we think it says or what it ought to mean. Let's talk about what it actually says, all right? Okay. Here's what it says. This is not what Sarge says it says. It says this. No person except a natural-born citizen. Listen to this one, because this will be crucial later. Listen. Let me say it again. You got to listen to every single word because they all have meaning. No person except a natural-born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution. Let me stop right there because the Constitution was ratified in 1789. So that would mean anybody alive and a citizen of the United States in 1789. Let me go on. No person except a natural-born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible to the office of president. Neither shall any person be eligible to that office who will not have attained but to the age of 35 years and been 14 years a resident within the United States. Now, the only thing I want to deal with is natural-born citizenship. And why did they put that in? This is why. They wanted to minimize, not prevent completely because that ain't possible, but they wanted to minimize the likelihood of undue foreign influence on the office of president, particularly from a father who owed allegiance to a foreign sovereign. That is critical because they were patriarchs, and they believed, it don't matter what we believe today. The people who wrote this, it has not been modified. It's still the law, still the common law of the Constitution. They believed that the citizenship of the children was the citizenship of the father. That's what they believed. And they were worried about the fact that the office of president would be unduly influenced by a father who had allegiance to a foreign sovereign by virtue of his birth and his citizenship therefrom. All right, now that we've got that established as the rationale, let's look at what the Supreme Court has said over the years regarding both the 14th Amendment, and other dicta involving what a natural-born citizen is. Okay, go ahead and ask your question, Shay. Ask your question.
Yes, I'm still here. This is crazy, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know everything's crazy, Kat, because you don't agree with it. But nevertheless, you just listen, and maybe it'll make sense to you. All right, again, let me go on here. Let me go on here.
I live in reality.
Now, I know you do. Yeah, because everybody accepts the fact that she's eligible, so therefore we should just shut up and not say anything about it. Well, that's not me, and I don't intend to.
No,
I don't intend to.
That's not what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the Supreme Court has not ruled on what.
And that's what I'm saying.
Okay, but listen. The Supreme Court today has not ruled. This issue has come up. They will not hear it. It stands the way it is. When she became vice president, that meant she was eligible to be president. When Barack Obama, I understand everything you're saying, Sarge. When Barack Obama was elected president, everything changed at that time. From now on,
okay, but Kat,
Court ruled until the Supreme Court ruled on the definition today, what the definition of natural-born citizen means. These people who are born in the United States or born to citizen parents will be eligible for president. I'm sorry, but that's the reality of it all. I understand everything Sarge is saying. I've heard it many, many times. I know what I'm saying.
Okay, and then to support what you're saying too, Kat, you know, and I know I'm going to get into a debate with the one and only Sarge. Okay, Barack Obama was born in 1962 in the state of Hawaii.
No argument.
Which is the 50th state. And then Hawaii is off the coast of Los Angeles, man, going in the southwest direction, about the same distance as it is from Chicago to LA, you know, even if you take Route 66 or not. So he was a citizen. Okay, now hold on. Now, and of course, we're going to get some conversation going on right here. Now, Barack Obama was more concerned about a male shoving ketchup up his rectum, talking about that he's having a menstrual cycle, as opposed to the police murdering unarmed black people. And Brother Che had brought it to my attention is that I believe, what was this incident you was telling me, Brother Che, that happened either yesterday or today?
Okay. Yes, Sonny Massey. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just like to
she was shot and killed in her home.
Okay. All right, let's not run too far afield. If you want to change the subject, that's fine. But before you do, wait a minute. Okay, before you do, I just like to say that Kat is correct as a de facto matter. As a de facto matter, yes, anybody who says they're eligible is going to be eligible if they allow it. As you pointed out, though, the Supreme Court has never ruled directly on the matter. Simply because they are silent on it does not mean that they never will. Wait a minute. Just because they haven't ruled on the matter does not mean they never will. It is still possible if we raise enough hell about it. And I'm not giving it a guarantee. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. Okay. I'm saying it's worth an effort because I think it is more relevant now today with hordes of illegal aliens coming across the border unvetted than it has ever been.
Okay, Sarge, you don't get no arguments from me. Okay, now, and keep in mind, Sarge, and we're going to argue on this one, man, so we might as well start the rumble. The U.S. Constitution, Sarge, is full of contradictions. You know it, I know it, and they know it. Okay, now,
stop it.
When you get these crooks up there on the Supreme Court, and Clarence Thomas needs to be impeached, disbarred, fired, put him out of a job, of all the gratuities that he was accepting, from his benefactors. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now, the fact of the matter is that Trump is raising such a fervor in this country, man. Okay, I got to go up here and make sure I got my gun rights again because the state of California stripped me of my gun rights. You see what I mean? Okay, is because I'm an old man now. Everything hurts. And I'm not going to get caught slipping. You see what I mean? And then on top of it as well, too, okay, and this here cat is just to have agreeable debate with you, okay, is that we're still going to talk about the reparations, people. We have to talk about the reparations. Now, Joe Gibson has stated, and Alaskan has stated, and you yourself has stated, Sarge, that we argue about all the time. Just bear with me, people. Well, nobody from slavery is still alive. Okay, now let's look at the rumble in Montgomery last year. Okay, with the riverboat. Okay, now the main people who was out there, in my opinion, who was doing the fight, who started the fight was Jack Daniels, I.W. Harper, Old Granddad, Beefeater, even some malts out there, where you get that false courage and what have you, and got that joy juice in you, you know what I mean? And a bunch of babbling and stuff like that there going on. So the gentleman who they attacked was telling the people on the other boat, hey, you have to move because we got the river boat coming in. So what had happened is they started attacking this man. And what he did is that he threw his hat up in the air. So I guess that became a new universal distress signal, just like if anybody knows the old Batman series from the 60s. Boy, and that's how you know when you're old and when you remember the 1960s. They'll send the bat sign up there, for Batman to go see Commissioner Gordon. And then you got such crooks as the Joker, Riddler, Mr. Freeze, and what have you. But I did like Eartha Kitt as Catwoman because Eartha Kitt was the original Catwoman before they replaced her with Julie Newmar. Okay? All right.
I like them both.
So now,
I like them both.
Okay. Well, you could have Julie Newmar, Sarge. I'll take Eartha Kitt.
I said I like them both. I didn't say which one I picked first. I said I like them both.
Okay. But anyway, all right, is that as you do know, is that Eartha Kitt, when she went and exercised her freedom of speech to Lady Bird Johnson at the White House luncheon when they was talking about the conflict in Vietnam, and I'm not going to get off into the Vietnam conflict, Sarge, just because you served over there. I know a whole lot of other people that served over there. I had relatives that served over there, man, and out of respect for you guys, man, I'm not going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to talk about it.
Wait a minute. First of all, you can talk about it all you want. It's national policy. You got every right to express your opinion about matters of national policy. So I ain't got no problem with you opposing it or whatever you feel about it. All I'm saying is that when you say something, I'm going to respond to it if I can. That's all.
Okay,
you say anything you want to about it. You say anything you want to bother me.
Okay, Sarge, let's get ready to rumble. Okay, two things. I thought that only Congress, and when I was younger, man, studying political science in that godforsaken state called California, so glad I left it, okay, is that it says that only the Congress can declare war. Now, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor December 7th, 1941, everybody knows Roosevelt's famous speech. Today will live long in infamy. Okay, I'm hereby asking the Congress to declare war on the Empire of Japan. And they did, okay. Then not to mention the fact, too, Sarge, that Dory Miller, who was a cook, has shot down 6 Japanese Zeros. But although they only wanted black people.
He didn't shoot down 6 Zeros. Stop it. Don't exaggerate what he did. What he did was heroic.
How many Zeros?
Don't exaggerate it. They think he might have shot down 1 and damaged another.
Okay, but even still,
good.
Sarge.
That was still pretty good because they only shot down 29 airplanes the whole day.
Okay, Sarge, okay, but they still had that man designated as a cook in a subservient role.
Well, yeah, that's good enough. Just tell the truth about it. He was heroic.
Okay.
He deserved. I think he should have got the Medal of Honor. I don't think he should have stopped with the Navy Cross. I think he should have got the Medal of Honor. What he did was worthy of it. Okay. So we don't need, but we don't need to exaggerate it. That's all I'm saying. It was heroic enough.
Okay, Sarge, but the point is, what I'm making is this, okay, is that with the Vietnam conflict, you see what I'm saying, to find out that your boy there, LBJ, you know what I'm saying, Lyndon Baines Johnson, I will not seek nor will I accept the nomination of my party to be the president of the United States in 1968, okay? I remember 1968, although I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? All the way from hell no, we won't go to Black Power, to Free Huey, the whole 9 yards, you know, Angela Davis after that, George Jackson, the Soledad brothers and things of that nature right there. The point is, what's going on, Sarge, with this guy, Donald Trump, 54, wait a minute, what number is he? 45 and 47, okay. And if I had to go over here into one of these casinos, you know, to bet on the presidential election, I would hate to do it, but the smart money would be on Donald Trump. Okay, Sarge, so you got me on that one right there. The smart money would be on Donald Trump. Now, from his Project 2025, to what they're saying is that they want to strip black people of various rights and things of this nature right here. Then you got old Governor DeSantis down there in Florida. Well, we don't want to talk about slavery. It makes white people feel uncomfortable. People, with me being an old bastard that I am, okay, is that if you're going to have any type of racial healing in this country, if it is sincere, you got to discuss this, man. Really, you do. Tim Scott does not speak for me, okay? Tim Scott, we looked at him on the tube the other night, man. It was sad.
Okay, Shabaka, before you go too much further, can we just straighten out one little thing, please? Because I think it's kind of important, because, you know, history being what it is and all. Okay, let's just do this. It won't take me long. Let me do it real quick. Just for the record, the Japanese intended to declare war on the United States a half hour before the attack on Pearl Harbor began, because the man in the embassy was slow in deciphering the diplomatic message that the Japanese embassy sent to him in Hawaii. It was not received by the United States Secretary of State until over a half an hour after the attack began. All right? Japan declared war on the United States first, and the United States responded the next day with a declaration of war on Japan. So let's get that straight. They declared war first, then the United States followed. Okay? So that's why it happened. So if you're gonna say that there was no declaration of war in the Vietnam War, you are absolutely right. But as a matter of fact, for most every conflict the United States has been involved with the exception of 5 exceptions. With the exception of 5 exceptions. I guess you could say the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, the Spanish-American War, World War I and World War II. That's the only times in history where the United States committed troops overseas where they declared war. All of the others were not declared. They were simply conducted with an authorization for the use of military force in various languages by various Congresses at various times. So as a matter of fact, most of our military actions abroad were not done with a declaration of war. That's just a fact. Now, you can argue that that's wrong. You can't argue that it's also true.
Okay, Sarge, okay. Now, see, here's the thing about politics, Sarge. It is full of hypocrites. You know it, I know it. It's full of hypocrisy. You know it, I know it, they know it. You see what I mean? But why is it, Sarge, when black people in the United States, okay, try to exercise these rules, okay, we got all this opposition, such as, you know, your boy, old frog face right there, said that's mine. Okay. Oh, George Wallace. And you saw what happened with old George Wallace and what have you, okay? And then also, too, while we have everybody on the line, you know, we do recognize the passing of Sheila Jackson Lee, who was 74 years old. She transitioned a few days ago due to pancreatic cancer. So, of course, you know, our condolences go to her loved ones and what have you. I wanted to say that there as well, too. But see, Sarge, as you know, as what Dwight D. Eisenhower had said, man, when he was departing office before JFK was sworn in, be leery of the military-industrial complex. Now, Sarge, when you go up and down the coast of California, okay, Southern California, man, that there is where Hughes Aircraft was, McDonnell Douglas, those were the warplanes. Up there, man, you know, in Richmond, California, over there by Vallejo, you had Rosie the Riveter, you know, putting all those ships together as they went up under the Golden Gate Bridge, man, heading out there to the South Pacific. You see what I mean? And then when they say that we do not deserve reparations, this is an insult to our intelligence. Reparations is not a handout. Reparation is a debt that is old. Why is it old? It's because the slave labor contributed to the gross national product of the United States. A lot of patent and a lot of intellectual property was stolen from black people with the inventions. And I think when Brother Che comes on, I think he had the list of some of the classic inventions that were made that are being used today. One of them is your cell phone. Another one is your laptop. Oh, and by the way, too, Sarge, you saw the movie called Hidden Figures, okay, with Taraji P. Henson, where the three black women, you know, who were engineers and physicists and what have you down there in Florida. And they were behind the launching of John Glenn into space. I think that there was the pre-Apollo program. And what did John Glenn say in the movie? And I believe he said it, you know, in real life as well, too. I am not crawling in that damn thing unless these women are doing the mathematics on it. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm the one that's going up there, you know, subjugated to getting burned up on a re-entry to it and what have you. And the physicist that Taraji P. Henson played, okay, she was only off her mark by 20 miles, which is a very, very slim margin. You see what I mean? So therefore, you got the intellectual properties that contributed to the gross national product of the United States, Sarge. Also, too, you got the free labor. Well, my ancestors had slaved down there in the great state of Alabama, down there with old frog face, segregation yesterday, segregation, they segregation mine. See, okay, all righty. So therefore, it's not a handout, reparations. It is a debt that is old. Okay, I yield. Okay, Brother Che. Brother Che. Okay, Brother Che, you still with us? Bank of America. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he's right. Okay, Joe Gibson and Sarge. Okay, we need some feedback from you gentlemen, and the Alaskan as well too.
Okay, Shabaka. Okay, Shabaka. Let me explain something here. All right, let me get some clarification. All right, that's what I like this. Actually, clarification. First of all, how long was it from the imposition, or rather the ratification of the 14th Amendment, until Plessy versus Ferguson in 1896 and the Brown versus Board of Education decision in 1954? Well, I'll tell you.
Okay. So we got.
So the 1954 was what? 58 years.
56 years. Yeah, 58
years.
Yes.
58 years.
Yes.
Okay, so in other words, you had it in the Constitution where it's supposed to be followed, but the Supreme Court came up with this weird, convoluted, separate but equal nonsense in 1896 that subverted the intention of the 14th Amendment. So sophistry, not the Constitution, prevented Black people from having access to equal rights. Now, to a great degree, that was undone by Brown versus Board of Education in 1954. So the problem was never with the Constitution. The Constitution never required any state to have slavery. It simply allowed for it. It didn't impose slavery on any state. That was a 10th Amendment issue that the state decided to take up on their own. So you can't blame the federal government for slavery because there's nothing in the Constitution that required any state to have slaves. Next, there's another thing. When you talk about things like the hidden figures and all of the wonderful contributions that Black people have made to the improvement of the United States, they weren't doing it for the Black race. Yeah, as peripherally they may have been, but they were actually doing it in order to improve circumstances, to improve working materials, to show that they had the right stuff to do it. And they did not do it on any basis for representation of the Black people in the United States. They just didn't. Now you can go on with that jive all you want, but you know what I just said is true. Like they had some kind of they were doing something diplomatically on behalf of Black people for which Black people are entitled to reparations. That's nonsense. Yeah, but you just cited the women in Hidden Figures, or not you, but Shabaka did. He just cited the women in Hidden Figures as reason why Black people are entitled to reparations. That's nonsense.
No, Sarge, it's still in their intellectual property, Sarge.
No, it wasn't. They were working for NASA. No, it wasn't.
Sarge.
You wait a minute. You just made a factual misstatement. Everything they did redounded to NASA's property rights. They were working for NASA.
Okay, but Sarge.
See, you guys just keep making things up.
No, Sarge, we're not, Sarge. We're not, Sarge. We're not, Sarge. We're not.
All right, I want you to tell me what I just said was, what did I just say that was wrong?
Okay, hold on, Sarge. Hold that thought. We got another caller calling in. They have their hand up. Okay, Sarge, hold that thought. Okay. All right, unknown caller. Okay, your mic has just been on muted. And what's your name and where you calling from? Okay, somebody's got some.
Give me some little prawn, fucking sweaty nigger dick. Big fucking black.
Oh man, this is a troll, man.
What do you expect? Come on, you didn't expect trolls? Come on, you didn't expect to have trolls? Come on, you should expect.
Sarge, every time I do this podcast, I expect to have trolls. You used to be our biggest troll one time until you and I got to talking.
I ain't never troll your show. You full of it, man. You know damn well I ain't never troll your show. I respond to everything you say here with a principal argument, whether you agree with it or not. That's why you got me on the show.
Okay, Sarge, okay.
I never told your show, not
once. Okay, Sarge, we all know that you're tough. But the point is this here, though, Sarge, is that you got to look at, man, is that the intellectual property that contributed to the gross national product of the United States from the slaves, okay, such guys as Benjamin Banneker, okay, they say he designed Washington, D.C. He designed Washington, D.C., plus he designed the White House. Okay, and Sarge, you got a troll in our chat room, Mac 280. Who says that you're the devil's advocate, Sarge, okay? Mac 285, okay, he's welcome to call in his will too. Okay, Sarge. Okay, but Sarge. Okay, but if you're going... okay.
Well, actually, in a way, I suppose there's some truth to being a devil's advocate. I mean, I can look at both sides of an argument to determine the validity of both sides of the argument or the lack thereof. But if it works out that way, so bloody well be it. I'm telling the truth as I see it, whether I'm right or wrong.
Okay, but Sarge, okay, we deserve the reparations. It's not a handout. It is a debt that is
on what basis?
Okay.
On what basis?
Okay, on what basis? Okay, sure.
Legally and constitutionally. What is the basis for it?
Okay, legally, the basis is free labor, number one. And then also, too, Sarge, didn't the U.S. Constitution say that all men were created equal?
It doesn't say that in the Constitution. It doesn't say that in the Constitution. You keep conflating things. That's a declaration, not the Constitution.
Okay, but Sarge.
The Declaration has no force of law. It is a mission statement. It has no force of law.
Oh, my God, Sarge. Now you sounding like one of these crackpot entrepreneurs over in Silicon Games Valley.
Okay, I want you to tell me where in the Constitution it said what you just said, all men are created. It doesn't say that.
Okay,
the closest thing it comes to saying that is the language of the 14th Amendment. That's the closest thing in there that has to do with what you just said.
Okay, but Sarge, to quote Malcolm X, you cannot have no civil rights unless you have some human rights. I mean, Sarge, come on, man, you older than me. I remember seeing it on TV as a kid, man, not knowing what I was seeing. Our people out there being hit with water hoses, then old Bull Durham, man, is sticking German Shepherd dogs on our people, fighting them, putting the fire hoses on kids, children, and women. Come on,
wait a minute. See how you keep changing the subject? Look, let's go back to slavery. How do you invoke a violation of civil rights for people who are not even citizens to have civil rights taken away from them? How is that possible?
Okay, but Sarge. Okay, but Sarge. See, they were kidnapped.
How is that possible?
Okay, but Sarge.
It was a human rights violation, but no such law existed internationally even back then.
Okay, but Sarge, we're talking about morals here, Sarge. Okay, Sarge, you know the law.
So you want to have some kind of abstract? You want to have some kind of abstract creation that didn't exist at the time what we're talking about was going on?
Okay,
and you want to make it retroactive. Wait a minute. And you want to make it retroactive to today.
Oh, yes, sir, absolutely. It's because my blood was spilled on the plantations, man, through my ancestors in Alabama and Tennessee and Virginia.
Why are you expropriating their suffering as though it was your own? Don't you think that's a bit unseemly?
Wait a minute, Sarge. Sarge, man, you guys put your right hand up, man, because I'm getting ready to come with this left cross, and I'm getting ready to knock you flat on your ass. You and I was talking about the hummingbird. You sit up there, man, and saying that you would not exist, man, is because if it wasn't for the raping, slave trading pedophiles in your bloodline. Sir, that is not totally correct, okay? Number two is
correct about it.
Okay, what was incorrect about it, Sarge?
Stop a minute and tell me what is incorrect about it.
Okay, because
how do I remove them from my genetic structure? Wait a minute, I want you to tell me, how do I remove them from my genetic structure? How do I do that? How do I do that and still continue to exist?
Okay, how do you do that, Sarge? Read a book called The Autobiography of Malcolm X.
How do I excise the genetic structure of every one of my ancestors and still exist? How is that possible?
Sarge, they're not your ancestors, homie. You
see what I mean? You just want to deny reality.
Sarge, I'm telling you reality, okay? No,
you're not. You're giving me a fairy tale. You give me a fairy tale.
I'm giving you facts, Sarge.
A fever dream that you're conjuring up.
Okay, Sarge, I am merely stating facts. Okay, it's just like what Lerone Bennett has stated.
I just gave you a biological fact.
Okay, Sarge, to quote the words of Lerone Bennett Jr., who you respect over there at Ebony, at Johnson Publications down there on South Michigan Avenue, there in the great city of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Where they're going to have a Democratic National Convention, right? Okay. You were their property, Sarge. They did not regard you as a family member.
Okay. You're talking about
their property. The same thing with Frederick Douglass.
Why do you keep conflating
the same thing with Sarge? The same thing. I'm going to say this last sentence, then I'm going to let you talk. Okay. The same thing with Frederick Douglass. Okay. When he got tired of getting hit with that whip, and then he went up there and smashed the slave owner or whatever, quote unquote, his family. You see what I'm saying? He had to get out of Dodge. Frederick D started being a sailor on the 7 seas, wind up in San Francisco, California. You know what I'm saying? Okay, they even have a housing project named after Freddie D. He became an abolitionist. Okay, but Sarge, he was his property. You see what I'm saying?
All right, now you're telling me something that's true. I'm not going to argue with you about things that are true. Committing crimes is not the same thing as excising your very genetic structure that enables you to exist. They're not the same thing.
Hold on, Sarge.
Why do you act as though they are?
Sarge, I'm going through the autobiography of Malcolm X right here, Sarge. Okay, I'm going through the autobiography of Malcolm X. Okay. Okay, Sarge.
Okay.
Okay, the
quote. Right.
Okay.
Give it your best shot.
Hey,
oh, boy.
Sarge.
Okay.
Or, Shabaka.
Yeah, go ahead, Alaska. Yeah.
Okay, you're not going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it.
Just spit it out.
Okay. I am very happy that some white slaveholding rapist raped somebody in your family, because had they not done that, okay, you and I would not be having this conversation.
Okay, but Alaska. Okay. Go ahead, Alaska. Finish your point. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alaska.
All I'm saying is your genetic makeup is made up the way it is. If it's not made up, if it wasn't made up the way it is today, you wouldn't be here, and you and I could not argue amicably, okay? And I would hate that.
Good point.
Okay. But Alaska, like I told you, man. Is this Miss Cat again?
Yeah. Look.
Okay, Cat. Okay.
What you're doing is you're arguing from a moral standpoint, and Sarge is arguing from a legal standpoint. So your arguments with each other don't even make sense. You're arguing apples and oranges. And Sarge is trying to make you see legally how you're not going to progress with this reparations thing. I personally believe in reparations, but I think reparations should also include everybody that's been forced to live in, condensed living in the projects and been denied education and health care. I think it goes back further than slavery. I mean, into the present day. I can give you some stories in my own life where I've witnessed it in institutions that I've worked for. So
okay, Miss Cat.
Yeah. What do you want to say?
Okay, Miss Cat.
Shabaka.
Yeah.
I'm not against reparations. You seem to think I'm against reparations. I'm against a specific type of reparations. I'm against reparations from the taxpayers of the United States. I'm not against anybody who wants to voluntarily give their money to anyone. Okay. I'm not opposed to it at all. If you can guilt trip some people out of their money, be my guest. I'm not opposed to reparations. I'm against doing it at the expense of the American taxpayer.
Okay, but Sarge, to quote the words of Tricky Dick, I am not a crook. And I want to make that perfectly clear, by the way. Okay, first place is that we have to look at is that not only the physical labor that was stolen, Ms. Cat, okay, we also have to look at the intellectual property that was stolen. Then we have to look at, man, when you mortgaged your slave, or the interest that was earned in off of that. And then when they had the Freedmen's Bank, now here's in, like Brother Che and I had discussed privately at one time, okay, is that the Federal Reserve stole all the money from the Freedmen's Bank, so we should be hijacking the Federal Reserve. You see what I'm saying? Is because, because the Federal Reserve is not a government entity. The Federal Reserve is a private corporation. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so they should be seized on that. Now, also, too, Sarge, here's something here for you to consider. And I really wish I had
private money. Wait a minute, you want to seize private money?
Sarge.
You just said it. Do you mean that, or you mean something else?
Okay, Sarge. Okay, we built the Southern Pacific Railroad all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, to Los Angeles, California. It's because when you get into Los Angeles, okay, right down there on Alameda Street, you see these huge warehouses, man, that says Southern Pacific Railroad that they own. Transporting freight and what have you. Okay, so what had happened was, I think some of them movie companies, man, that took it over, man, and making a whole bunch of Class Z movies over there. Who knows? Maybe Stormy Daniels worked over there a little bit, if you know what I mean. Okay, but the point is, if you are going to have some type of racial healing in this country, okay, you got to discuss this, man. You see what I'm saying? You cannot sweep this under the rug because, see, now let's look at it this way, Sarge, of what you say all the time, okay? Well, what about the black on black crime? It is systemically designed that way, of the imagery that they have portrayed in the black exploitation films, okay? Read Dr. Francis Quest Wilson on that Brother Che had brought to my attention on that. Okay, look at that raggedy institution called the movie-making industry. They don't ever want to show films of black men being proper fathers. They don't ever want to show films of black women being proper mothers. The only positive black movie that they made at that time in the early 1970s was Sounder, starring Paul Winfield and Cicely Tyson. Okay, it's because that was a very, very touching movie, and if that movie didn't make you cry, you're not human. Okay. But Sarge, to sit up there to forget about one of the biggest travesties in American history, and if not the world history, then these Brandon Johnsons and these Eric Adams and then these Kamala Harrises got money for these damn migrants. But you don't want to give the descendant of slaves no money, but you want to go give it to these migrants. And then when I traveled across the country, man, go to a hotel. Hold it. Okay, hold on, Sarge. When I traveled to Denver, Colorado to see thank you, Brother Che. Yes, sir. Right. See, so that's a double standard. That is a double standard. Well, yep. In Vietnam.
No.
Okay, and then, not to mention, okay, hold on. I'm going to give you the floor 1 second, Ms. Cat. I want to make this point here to Sarge. Then, Sarge, not to mention the fact that the heavyweight champion in 1967, the greatest heavyweight champion of all time, who stated, I don't have no quarrel with the Viet Cong. They ain't never called me a nigga. They ain't never bombed my church or raped our women and hung our people from trees. What about the Birmingham bombing, Sarge, in 1963 where the 4 little black girls were killed? But what happened? Old frog face comes out there on that. Segregation yesterday, segregation tomorrow. And then what happened is in 1972 when he was running for president, somebody went up there and dumped 5 caps on his ass and put him in a wheelchair. But we're supposed to be so forgiving. Also, too, Sarge, what about Viola Louiso, the young white woman, man, from Detroit that went to help Dr. King, man, on the civil rights movement, and she came up dead. Down there in the great state of Heartland of Michigan, Alabama. Can't hear you, Sarge.
Well, you sure do run far afield when you get going, don't you? I said you sure do run far afield when you get going, don't you?
Sarge, I got so much time to do a whole lot in, you know, to get the point across. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate all our callers here. We really do. Yeah, go ahead.
What about all of the other blacks in this race that are still living? What about all of these blacks in this race that are killing themselves? I mean, you're laying out. You're laying out. Hey,
okay, hold on. Okay, hold your ponies. Hold your ponies. Hold your ponies. Okay, hold your ponies. Hold your ponies. I got the answer, Alaskan. I got the answer, Alaskan. What it is, Alaskan, they learn all this crap from these public indoctrination centers, okay? I went to Los Angeles public schools. Horrible. Chicago public schools. Horrible. San Francisco public schools. Horrible. Oakland public schools. Horrible. Chicago public schools. Garbage. New York public schools. Straight in the toilet. You see what I'm saying? So what had happened is, Alaskan, is that they had systemically had taken the black male out of his household. It's because when there's 2-parent households in the black community, okay, the sons come up respectful to the women come up as young ladies and not harlots and whores. You see, excuse my language, ladies. You see what I'm saying? Because you need that strong black family unit. You need the daddy and the mama in the home. You see what I'm saying? But what happens is that this ratchet ass rap industry is that they want to sit up there and say, oh, go kill an NG, I'll shoot an NG. Oh, I'm a thug, I'm a gangster and all that. And you broke ass bastards is out here. Now, one thing that I know, there ain't no such thing, man, there's no broke gangster. Understand?
Well, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you what, Shabaka. If you want reparations, I got the people that you need to get your reparations from, with everything that you just laid out.
Okay, who is that?
The Black Caucus in the United States fucking Congress, because they instituted all of this.
Okay, but hold on, Alaskan. You will get no argument from me of talking about this Congressional Black Caucus. No, you and I are in agreement on that one there, Alaskan. If we ever get together in Las Vegas and bump a couple of these stones off these crap tables, you know what I'm saying? You will get no argument from me, because them has been the biggest counter producers of black progress, man, that I ever saw. In short, excuse my language,
get
folks,
it out of,
dang shit.
Then listen, I say get your reparations out of their back pocket, not out of the taxpayers' money. They are the ones who are causing you all this problems.
Okay, hold on, Alaska. Wait a minute, Alaska, I'll meet you halfway there. Okay, hold on, Alaska, I'll meet you halfway there. And to prove your point even further, look at Uncle Tim Scott. Look at Herschel Walker. Look at these ass scratchers, Brandon Johnson, that Sarge hates, and he'll get no argument from me, and Eric Adams. Look at that raggedy ass mayor you got in Los Angeles, Karen Bass. Look at London Bridge up there in San Francisco. Look at Kamala Harris.
Democrats.
Okay, Sarge. The Democrats and the reptilians are both sides of the same coin, young man. You get no argument from me on that. You see, none whatsoever.
They are the ones that need to pay you the reparations that you seek out of their pockets, not my pocket. Their pocket.
They ain't got enough of that. They ain't got enough. They ain't got $4 trillion, Andy. Don't you guys want like $6 trillion or something?
Yeah. They got quite a bit.
Hey.
All right, who's gonna come up with $6 trillion anytime soon?
Hey.
They can do.
Now let's talk about COVID.
Shabaka.
Now.
Shabaka.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Cat. Yeah, go ahead, Miss Cat.
I can't talk as loud as the rest of you do, so I'm talking as loud as I can right now. I want to say something. If you never hear from me again, I want you to hear what I'm about to say. I want you to not change a thing about yourself and keep yelling and talking over people and put forth with passion everything that you believe and that you feel and that you know what is just and true and righteous. And I want you to continue being you, and I want you to keep up the fight. If you never hear from me again, I'm 100% behind you.
Okay, thank you, and I appreciate that, Miss Cat. And of course, I would like to hear from you again in the future. Okay, so we got Mac 285 here in the chat room. I love this here, Mac 285. Yeah, that you always hear me singing, particularly when it comes to Uncle Tim Scott. Zippity-dee-dah, zippity-day, the classic one and only Uncle Remus, man, in the Song of the South. I got plenty of nothing, and nothing is plenty for me. What one brain-dead, ass-scratching Negro. And I got some other terms I could put up on there, but I'm trying to keep respectful because we got ladies in here. Okay. If there's going to be any type of racial healing, okay, you got to discuss these issues. Now, here's something for you. Let's look at all those that made the ultimate sacrifice in the civil rights movement and in the Black empowerment era, Sarge. Let's look at Viola Louisa, a young white woman from Detroit who was murdered down in the great state of Alabama, in the nation. Okay? What do you think her family would say? You see what I mean? Now, as far as the reparations is concerned, if reparations were issued, and I do agree with their asking to get it from the Congressional Black Caucus, because I'm tired of them bug dancing, skinning and grinning ass Negroes who ain't done shit for us ever since they formed the Congressional Black Caucus. Not only for black people, but the U.S. as a whole. Okay. So I'll meet you on that there, halfway on that there, Alaska. You see what I'm saying? It's because, hey, you know, take away their travel pay, take away their subsidized housing, going off into the mansions right there. Put them in a cardboard box. That would even be better. Put them out there with Darren Wilson, who belongs in a cardboard box. Put them out there with Chauvin, who belongs in a cardboard box. You see what I'm saying? And then, Sarge, we're not going to talk about the George Floyd case because we already went back and forth with that. That man was bound. He was murdered. That's special circumstances. California does have special circumstance in that. Also, too, I understand that Mr. Chauvin has had some bad luck on the inside. Okay. I could care less about Derek Chauvin because that could have been me. That could have been one of my loved ones. You see what I'm saying? That could have been Brother Che. You see what I'm saying? Hell, Sarge, that could have been you.
Yeah, can I get a word in edgeways here? Can I get a word in edgeways?
Oh, you most certainly can. You most certainly can.
All right, thank you. Boy, you come up with so many issues. I stopped taking notes because you just come with one thing after another. Blah, that. You know, look, can we kind of narrow the focus a little bit? Because there's so many things you brought up that need addressing. You know, if we got to help, we can kind of stick on one for a moment, then move to another one. Because I mean, you just said a million things. Let's get back to one crucial thing that you said. And that's got to
okay,
do with...
hold that thought, Sarge. Hold that thought, Sarge. 1 second. Okay, unknown caller, you had your hand up. Okay, your mic is unmuted. Feel free to join in. Go ahead, Sarge.
Okay, I'd like to kind of narrow the focus a little bit. I mean, I understand that you can talk about anything you want to, but I like kind of narrow the focus a little bit so, we can kind of, at least flesh it out a little bit before we move on to something else. I don't have ADHD. It's kind of hard for me to follow all this stuff. All right, now, let me get back to this notion of reparation and who ought to pay, because I think that's crucial. I mean, as a legal case, there is no standing. Now, as a moral case, there is some basis for it, and I think the way to go about it is to go to those people who are willing to voluntarily part with their money in order to rectify a historical wrong. It is simply wrong to impose it on the taxpayers, no matter what your rationale is. So I'm just not going to agree with that, no matter what. Now, if you're talking about living people who have had their civil rights specifically violated, there already exists a mechanism in the courts to address that. And those people should bring those cases before the court in order to obtain their reparations.
Sarge, let me tell you something.
As individuals.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, when the LAPD violated my civil rights, okay, and I went and wrote up some of their officers.
Oh, you had an individual case, Shabaka. If they violated your civil rights, they violated your civil rights. They didn't violate the civil rights of every black person.
Oh, yes, they do, man, systemically. Hell, man, look at Rodney King. Why do you think we had the party there in 1992?
So in other words, when you got your civil rights violated by LAPD in California, I had my civil rights violated in Chicago? That doesn't make any sense.
And now I'm going to tell you why your civil rights was violated in Chicago, because if your black ass was riding with me in that same car, they would have violated your civil rights too.
There wasn't. I know. Why are you making up something that didn't exist?
Oh boy, folks, don't you just love it?
I wasn't in the car with you, Shabaka. How can I make a claim that my civil rights were violated by yours being violated in California? How do I do that?
Okay, Sarge. What we're talking about here, Sarge, is what they would call systemic racism that is ingrained in the American ethos. What is an ethos? Okay. That is a group psychology or a group philosophy of a particular society. Now, the Alaskan, he's right. Okay, the first ones we need to go jack up is them daggone congressional black caucus individuals, because every 2 years they come to us with prepackaged bullshit in the black community. Oh, vote Democrat, vote for us, vote Democrat, vote for us. And they don't do nothing for us. Okay, so you get no argument for me on that one.
What about my civil rights?
Next question.
What about your civil rights, Joe?
Okay, Joe. Next question.
Rights that were violated. I mean, how do you put them all in an entire class? It's just as it applies to an individual's rights that are violated.
Okay, Joe.
Shabaka.
Okay, Joe. Okay, Joe. With you being a white man in America, they will pay more credence to your case. You see what I'm saying? And
that's
then on top of it, okay. But Sarge, why did you leave the conversation, Sarge? You left the chat room.
I didn't leave. I'm trying to get another word in edgeways. I ain't left the conversation.
Okay, all right. Okay,
I'm waiting for an opportunity to respond.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on, Sarge. Okay. Let Joe finish. Then, Sarge, we go to you. Okay. And then we have some unknown callers here with their hands up. Their mics are unmuted. They can feel free to join in as well, too. Okay, Joe, please continue.
Well, Shabaka, you're failing to realize that, look, in this land that we live in, whether you like it or not, is, everybody is treated as an individual. You can't put everybody in a group and judge everybody in a class or a group like you're doing.
Joe. Okay, but Joe, like Brother Trey just said, you cats have been doing it to us for 400 years, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously. Okay, and then even when you elected a black president here, Joe, okay, when the country elected Barack Obama as a black president, what's the first thing that Obama said? No reparations. And I'm sitting up there and I'm looking at this trick, man, and I'm saying, cool, is you crazy? Yeah, you see, is you crazy? You see, and then with you being the quote unquote first black president, that should have been the first thing he should have pushed. But hold on, Joe. And he should have pushed it and he should have used his executive power. You see what I'm saying? But what did Barack Obama get up there and say, oh, no reparations? But yet, though, this trick would turn around and say, well, where's the black community? You need to vote for me for the black president. You see, man, that's an insult to my intelligence, Joe. Okay, now, Joe, you told me, man, that your background, man, I believe you had told me, man, that your people that came over from Portugal, I believe.
No.
Okay, all righty. Okay, Luca Brasi, Don Corleone, Michael Santino, and what have you. Okay, if they abused you, Joe, and I've heard you on your podcast where you have been the subject of police abuse. Okay, and then on top of it too, as well, Joe, you need to go sue the living shit out of them. You don't get no arguments from me, man. Okay, but at the same token, that each time that I walk down the street, but each time when I walk down the streets of Los Angeles and I get pulled over by Crash, Crash, Mark Furman, Community Resources Against Street Hoodlums, okay, and then they had a black chief by the name of Bernard Parks, and his first official act is that I'm shutting down Crash. Okay, what did they do with Bernard Parks? They retired him. They didn't give him a second term. And I believe, Sarge, that there's often a book called Chief that you swore up and down that you was going to read about a social and psychopath by the name of Daryl Francis Gates, who stated that all casual drug users need to be taken out and shot. Then he might as well go start with his son, who was one of the biggest dope fiends in Los Angeles County. Daryl Gates gets up there and says before the U.S. Congress, well, the reason why blacks died of charcoal is because their ventricle veins do not reopen up in their neck as in normal people. As in normal people, okay? Well, we got somebody shouting profanities in the back. You know what I'm saying? Okay, they're welcome to join in the conversation as well, too. Oh, bring it on, boy.
I'm Darkside Phil.
Okay, all right, bring it on, boy. What's on your mind, man? All right, bring it on, boy. What's on your mind, man? You can talk too.
It's obvious you don't know what you're talking about.
No, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about shit that I read, man. I'm not talking about shit that I heard. I'm talking about shit that I've lived through, sir.
I don't
Please continue.
believe you.
I could care the fuck less. Okay, bring it on, boy. Okay, let me see here. I see we got the eject button going on. Okay, bring it on, boy. Okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I don't care.
Okay, bring it on, boy. Says he's not on the phone. Okay, tell you what, check this out, man. If you don't care and you don't believe what we're talking about, man, why don't you just hang up the goddamn phone? How about that?
What?
Motherfucker, you heard me? Shit, excuse my language, man. Shit, I didn't got it. You know, shit, take your phone and shove it up your ass, man, along with your ketchup and say you're menstruating trick.
Shut up.
No, you're not going to tell me to shut the fuck up. No, I run this shit here. Me and Brother Che run it here. No, you're not going to tell me shit. You're welcome to hang up the phone, sir. Brother, okay, you hit the eject button? Good. Fuck them, man. I hate to have to talk like that. I really do. Okay, I really do. I have never went on nobody's podcast because me and Joe Gibson has been on each other's podcasts. We had knockdown drag-outs, to quote you, Joe, but we have never disrespected each other like that.
No, that's correct.
Yeah. Yeah, and please excuse my language, ladies, and for those of you out there listening. Okay, we're not going to put up, with nonsense. We're trying to have a constructive conversation. Okay, bring it on board says, why do I assume it's him? Okay, well, what I was doing, bring it on board, I was going down the checklist right here. Okay, and I didn't see your name tagged on anything. So if it was not you, I do apologize. Okay, you see what I'm saying? All right, but that individual, that troll that called in, you know what I'm saying? Fine, he's welcome to call in, once again as well too. You see, but as long as we have some type of constructive, yeah. Okay, you say okay, say that again, Joe.
Talk some sense, though,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Joe. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody can come up here and talk bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language, ladies. You see what I'm saying? Okay. And we got a caller from 909. Okay, 909. We'll see you in the chat. Okay. And just press 1, and you're more than welcome to join in the conversation. Okay, but what it is, though, if we're going to have some type of racial healing in this country, okay, if we're going to have some type of racial healing in this country, you got to talk about this stuff, man, because you got a great big white elephant in the room who's sitting up there farting and shitting all over the place and nobody smells nothing. Come on, people. We're not that stupid. And I hate to excuse the vulgarity, but this is the only way I can get my point across. This is just ridiculous.
Well, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
We've spoken on this before, but do you believe in and adopt critical race theory as a legal theory as taught in universities and college? Do you accept that as a legal doctrine that should be implemented nationwide?
Okay, well, Sarge, to answer that question, honestly, you know what I'm saying, because I'm not stupid, at least I don't think I am, maybe a little bit senile, you know what I'm saying, but no, I would have to read the paperwork first to see just where is it going. But there's
wait a minute, we've discussed critical race theory before. I thought you were familiar with the concept. You're familiar with the basic concept?
Okay, whoa. Hold on, Sarge. I'm doing a million things at once. Okay, so now you're talking about the horrors and the brutalization of slavery in the Jim Crow South.
No, that's not what critical race theory is. No.
Okay,
as a legal theory, it isn't. No. What critical race theory holds is that to enact the law in a proper constitutional manner and to objectively apply the law as it exists to people of color and minorities is to further white supremacy, and therefore there must be a differential standard to apply the law to black people because of historical racism and white supremacy that is embedded in the United States that cannot be removed. That's what critical race theory essentially holds.
Okay, but hold on, sorry. So
now I want to know, do you agree with that? Do you agree with that as a policy that should be implemented nationwide? That legal theory that I just spoke to.
Okay, Sarge, if you're going to have some type of racial healing in this country, this has got to be discussed because, hey, man, I get tired, man, of worrying about my loved ones out there driving. Hell, I get tired each time I get behind the wheel of my vehicle, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, are they going to pull me over and blow my brains out? You know what I'm saying? And then just like we was talking a few months ago, Sarge, when I was on the highway, man, 22 miles to get up out of that raggedy state of California with Gavin Newsom, who is gruesome, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully they won't draft that joker in any national political office. You see what I'm saying? You know, I'm still having to worry. Okay. They say it's 70 miles an hour. I give them 69. Okay. Sometimes the CHP, which is the California Highway Patrol, they will give you 5 miles over the limit, you know, before they yank you over and issue a citation for speeding. Okay. Now, when I get here in the great state of Nevada, okay, which is kind of like the Mississippi of the West, okay? I'm extremely nervous when these individuals get behind me, but however, since I've been here, I've only had one encounter with the Las Vegas Police Department. They pulled me over and said, hey, man, your tags are expired. Okay, that's probable cause. Insurance, license, registration. He didn't issue me a citation. He says, man, just take care of your business, man. You got no problem for me. He did not put his hand on his weapon. He did not pull out his nightstick. And this is like 1 out of 10 chances with me, because usually with me, well, man, step out the car. They searched my car illegally. And I told you this here, Sarge, up there in Los Angeles when I was studying criminal justice up there at the California State University, Los Angeles. Well, they going through my car illegally. I'm standing there, you know what I'm saying? Where do you work? I don't work. I go to school. Well, what the hell you study in school? Oh, glad you brought it up. Criminal justice, civil rights and the law, political science, and I think that there was another elective law course that I was taking, and what have you. Oh, well, sir, you know, we apologize. Man, hand me my driver's license. Man, am I under arrest? No. Are you detaining me? No. You all have a nice night. Say, man, do you know how nervous I was, man, when I got off of my car and drove off worrying about them blowing my brains out?
Shabaka, are you going to answer my question?
Which is, please repeat the question, sir.
Let me repeat the question, because all that time you've been talking, you didn't answer my question. You believe that the critical race theory is a legal principle that requires a race-conscious attitude to law enforcement. It requires it. Do you believe that should be implemented nationwide?
Yes, sir, I do. For the safety, okay. For the safety, Sarge, of black people who are pulled over by...
I don't believe you. They just said it. You just said it.
Say, man, who the hell you are talking about, man? Go back to your bong. Go back to your damn fentanyl, man. You know, go take a lie and fuck through a rolling donut, man. Get your ass up out of here. We ain't putting up with that shit. You know,
all right, guys. Let me express this so we can make clear that what the proponents of critical race theory believe. What I'm about to read is a very short paragraph, very short. It's from the 3rd edition of Critical Race Theory, a book that is written by Richard Delgado and Gene Stefanik. It's called Critical Race Theory and Introduction. It is one of the Bibles of critical race theory. And this is what it says in the introduction on page number 3. So start in making this up. This is what it says. It's not my words. These are the progenitors of critical race theory. This is what he writes. What is critical race theory? Unlike traditional civil rights discourse, which stresses incrementalism and step-by-step progress, critical race theory questions the very foundations of the liberal order, including equality theory, legal reasoning, Enlightenment rationalism, and neutral principles of constitutional law. So what they are saying in this, and I can give you infinitely more quotes from the very material I'm referring to, what they're saying is that a subjective application of the law must be applied with regard to black people. Now, what I want to know is, Shabaka, do you agree with that? And would you like to see that subjective application of the law applied to black people and black people only?
Okay, Sarge, to answer your question, you know, truthfully, since we're getting back here, man, to being serious, man, and dealing with crackpots, I would have to study the document, Sarge, in its entirety. I have to pull one of your numbers there to make an adequate answer to that. But I'm going to turn that there over to Brother Che, because Brother Che has more legal knowledge than I do. Okay, now, Brother Che, can you answer Sarge's question on that, sir?
Okay, well, good. That's all I'm looking for is an answer. Now, naturally, I oppose it, but I'm just trying to figure out where you guys' heads are at. So you're saying that we cannot apply the law equally to black people. They have to have a special niche carved out just for them.
Oh, yes, just for us, Sarge, because keep in mind, you're a black man, too. Okay,
all right, I got it. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, Sarge. Now, to keep in mind, you know, since we're talking intellectual now, because anybody can get up here and talk nonsense and bullshit, and we're getting away from that. Okay.
Well, you know me. I like to stick with facts.
I understand that. Okay. Now, the only time that I've traveled in the South, Sarge, was a few years ago, because people have challenged me. Well, Shabaka, when you go into the South, okay. I went off into the South. I went down there through the great state of Texas, the mud. Okay. I went through Louisiana. I went through Mississippi. Went through Alabama, Georgia. You know, great state of Florida. Okay. And the song by Billie Holiday, Sarge, now you would know about this song. And for those of you who don't know,
Strange
there was a jazz music.
Strange.
Exactly. No, Sarge, no, exactly. That's what really went through my mind. And then when I saw the sun going down, Sarge, and I know they got the most sundown times, because you damn sure got a lot of them up there in California. Okay, so speed limit says 65. I'm giving you 62. Okay, now I'm getting tired. Okay, so now I got to find me a truck stop, because I'm not stopping off at Billy Bob's Delicatessen. I'm not stopping off at Hillbilly Joe's coffee shop or what have you. Didn't want to come up missing. So I go up there, you know, get my coffee, you know what I mean? Sit back, sip it a little bit. So now I got to get back on this track. Interstate 10, Sarge. And Interstate 10, Sarge, as you know, will take you all the way from Santa Monica, California, all the way to Jacksonville, Florida. And I did not get a chance to see the Atlantic Ocean, unfortunately, is because I had wanted to go to the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, and I wanted to sit there and meditate and listen to the stories of long ago as our people were being brought across these waters, you know what I'm saying? But in the long run, I'm glad that I didn't, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it would have made me angry. It would have made me upset. You see what I'm saying? And they got an old thing down there in the South that says, mind your temper, boy. You know what I mean? And I'm not nobody's boy. So the best thing for me to do is to get my happy ass right back there to the psychedelic shack called California with its warped politics, warped politicians, you know what I'm saying? Dope fiends, transsexuals, homosexuals, confused sexuals, and what have you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, boy, I tell you. Okay, folks, we got 12 minutes left here, and I see two unknown callers right here. Oh,
I got a couple questions, though, before you do that, Shabaka, since you answered my question.
Yes,
so I got two questions. Number one, are you not concerned about what might eventuate by having a racially codified system of law? Do you have any concerns whatsoever about what might ensue in the wake of such an official policy? And number two, do you see any constitutional impediments to instituting it in view of the Constitution as it is written right now?
Okay, Sarge. First place, when it comes to the Constitution, they're going to do what they want to do, okay? It's because I went back and forth with Joe Gibson on this. I went back and forth with Piaki on it, who I no longer speak with. Okay, just show me, where did our people, Sarge, petition the U.S. government to be citizens here? And we already know said document.
Well, I didn't do it. That was imposed on me, Shabaka. That's the way it works for every country.
Sarge,
when you're born, they impose citizenship on you. That's the way it is.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, but Sarge, like I said,
why do you have a problem with that when it's no different than anywhere in the world? They do, all of them do it.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, it's because of the conditions of how we got here to America.
Well,
everybody else came here
as an immigrant. 158 years in the past.
Okay, but Sarge,
I want you to keep invoking that for people who were born today.
Okay, Sarge, there's an ancient African proverb that states as follows: going back to tradition is the first step forward. To put it in layman's terms,
you cannot move forward. So wait a minute. So you don't want black people to be citizens of the United States at birth. Is that what you're telling me? I thought that was the whole argument in the first place.
Okay, but Sarge, show me where
Wait, will you answer my question? Are you saying that you don't want black people to be citizens of the United States at birth?
Sarge, I'm answering your question with a question. Show me where we as a people on a collective basis petition the U.S. government to be citizens. Now, hold your thoughts.
That's the answer. It doesn't.
Okay, hold it.
There is no such documentation.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, now please hold your thought right there. Sarge don't want to suffer for his people's mistake. Okay,
I didn't either.
Okay, hold on.
When I attained the age of reason, they told me, hey, Sarge, when you were born, you were a natural-born American citizen at birth, and you ain't got no say in it.
Okay, but Sarge.
They told Joe Gibson the same thing, too, and he's a white man.
Okay, Sarge, I hate to put it to you like this right here. When your black ass was born, man, and had you would have been born in 1800s, man, you would have been a slave. Now, hold your thoughts, Sarge. Hold your thoughts, Sarge, because we got two unknown callers here that got their hands up. They got their hands up. See,
you keep getting in the time machine. You keep getting in the time machine and going back to the past. You refuse to live in the present.
Sarge. Okay, Sarge, going back to tradition is the first step forward. Okay, unknown caller, you had your hand up. Okay, your mic is on muted. Please. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, unknown caller. Okay, your mic is unmuted.
I suck so fucking bad at this.
Okay, so you're going to have to speak more clearly. Oh, man, he's got a lot of background. Okay, he can comment in the chat room. Okay, we have another unknown caller right here. Your mic is unmuted. You should have heard unmuted. Okay, what is your comments, questions, and concerns, please?
Good evening, Shabaka. Shout out to everybody who's on the show. I didn't come here to cause problems. I came here to be a problem for a certain person. That person knows who he is. Salute.
Okay.
What's going on, y'all?
Okay, is this Chef Rob?
No, sir.
All right.
It's Naj.
Oh, okay.
But no, God does. Hey, if you talk about me, he ain't never been no problem for me. Not once.
Oh, Naj, Naj, yeah.
But hey, let him take his best shot. Let's see what he can do today. Let him take his best shot.
Okay, Nas, what's happening with you?
Well, yeah, for one, if it was my best shot, you wouldn't be breathing. We all know how that goes. But
all right. Assassination attempts are not allowed here.
Come on, man. Don't self-aggrandize. It's not a good look on you. But let's get into a real interesting conversation. So, as you all know, when you're dealing with numbers, small numbers play a small factor in percentages. But those small numbers can also hurt you really badly if you need it. What do I mean by that? Black conservatives represent 20%, hopefully, as Donald Trump is hoping, of his constituency. He's hoping to get 20% of the black vote. That would be black conservatives. So my first question to Sarge would be, can black conservatives show the spine to go to Donald Trump right now and say, we got certain asks, we got certain things that we demand, and if those demands aren't met, we don't show up on election day, and our 20% slice causes you to lose. Do black conservatives have the spine to make that demand of Donald Trump? Sarge,
what demand? What demand do they have?
Sarge, I'm asking you directly.
First of all, we're not activists. We're conservatives. We believe in persuasion, and we believe in persuasion, reason, and argument. We don't make demands without a foundation. What we would do is we would go to Donald Trump and present what we would desire to see. And then we would see if we could persuade the Trump campaign to adopt those ideas. And if we could not persuade him to adopt those ideals, we would probably abandon them. But we wouldn't start with a demand. That's what you guys do.
Okay. So in that one question, I just showed y'all that black conservatism is non-viable as a political philosophy.
Well, I don't speak for all black conservatives. I'm only speaking for me. Well, why are you putting that label on me? I'm a spokesman for black conservatives now.
let me finish.
I make no claim to that, Naj. I am not the spokesman for black conservatives.
As I just showed you, this just proves that black conservatism is a dead ideology that has no viability in actual elections, because real constituencies understand leverage, they understand power, and they understand the ability to move power. But if that group is so scared, so cowardly, that they won't even make a demand in a situation where he needs you, has to have you, that shows they have no political IQ. Now, let's move to the second stage, since you won't go after them. Should black conservatives go to the Congressional Black Caucus and say, look, our guy is the front runner in this election. We're going to need direct intervention from you for policies that we prefer to push for the black community. Now, the CBC can't turn down that meeting. They can't turn down that offer. Will black conservatives take on that fight?
Well, again, I'm not the spokesman for black conservatives. I'm only spokesman for SARS. You guys won't even let me speak for myself. But look, I could hazard a guess. If you want me to, I could hazard a guess. I suppose there are, since I don't speak for all black conservatives, I can tell you there are probably some black conservatives who would want to do exactly what you're saying, because we're not all cookie cutters. We're all individuals. That's what's important about us. And we all have our various ways of looking at problems individually. However, we can form coalitions. We can form coalitions that will create the ability to obtain leverage. So again, we're not as rigid as you activists are, who only run around like a bunch of storm optaloon in brown shirts. That's not what we do.
Yeah, okay. So hold on. Let me keep cooking this pot. Now understand what we're doing here. Now we just showed they have no ability to actually appeal or stress power on either party. So they exist as a token entity to just be basically contrarian. But as far as political power, they cannot exercise it amongst either party. So why even show up? Black conservatism.
Well, again, you're taking my role as being representative of all black conservatives, and that's where you're making your mistake. That's where you're making your mistake. I am not necessarily representative of black conservatism.
Just notice how the conversation went. We talked about it.
He is determined to make me the face of black conservatism. And I would submit to you, sir, that is definitely a tactical error.
No, you're taking it personal. I'm exposing the weakness of that group. Now, you take my remarks
90 seconds.
And then you attribute them to all black conservatives. I mean, you're the one that's doing it.
Let me finish.
Okay, don't nobody hang up. We're going into overtime. Yeah, please don't nobody hang up.
My remarks are not necessarily representative of all black conservatives, nor do I claim them to be.
No, the reason for this exercise is you can use this on any black conservative you talk to.
60 seconds.
Similar answers that Sarge gave. And notice one important thing within that conversation. We were talking about a specific voting block, and this man started hemming and hawing and started talking about we're all individuals.
I answered it pretty quickly. I didn't hammer and haw. I answered you really readily and quickly. I wasn't hesitant. Who were you listening to? I want to know who he was listening to, because I didn't hem and haw anything. I answered forthrightly.
I just showed you. He don't want me to finish. I just showed you that even within their specific voting block, when you press them and ask them what they're really trying to accomplish, they immediately go to individualism and start talking about, well,
10 seconds.
We're not collecting bees. We don't live in a hive. We don't live in a hive. You guys do. You guys are like little bumblebees or ants.
It's a non-straight.
We don't live in a hive. We don't believe in a great big collective.
I just exposed it.
What answer me, Woody?
See how proudly he is to be a little lemming? He's proud of being a lemming. I'm not proud of being a lemming. I don't want to be a lemming. He does.
Okay, please don't nobody hang up. We are in overtime right now. Please continue. Okay, please nobody hang up. We are in overtime, and I think we got about 15 minutes. Okay, so gentlemen, please continue, and then after you gentlemen finish your discussion, then we're going to go with the closing comments.
Yeah, just notice how me pressing him and telling him, okay, you guys aren't really organized like that. Y'all don't really push for anything politically. You just serve as a token roadblock for the other side. You notice how he tried to flip the conversation into, well, we're not lemmings, we're not bees, we all don't think alike. Well, why the hell would you have a political caucus that doesn't have a platform or an idea on what they want to do? This is why the Byron Daniels of the world, the Tim Scotts of the world, this is why they get passed over for vice president by a non-viable Vance, because Trump doesn't respect y'all as an entity. Black conservatism is dead. I'm done.
So the reason J.D. Vance was selected rather than Byron Donalds is because they are both residents of Florida, and both of them cannot receive the electoral votes from the state of Florida. That is a matter of constitutional fact. That is not an opinion, Nosh. See what I mean? You guys, I swear to God, you guys act as though no facts matter but the ones that you want to try to assert as true. You act as though nothing else matters. Byron Donalds cannot receive the electoral votes of Florida if Donald Trump takes them, and vice versa. That is in the Constitution, which you never read.
No, okay, easy,
why don't you give me a reason then? Article 12, God damn it! Read it! Amendment 12. Read the 12th Amendment. Read the 12th Amendment. Read the 12th Amendment.
Oh my God.
I swear to God, you people are unbelievable.
This is how you
Read the 12th Amendment. Read the 12th Amendment.
This is how you know he's losing the argument, because then he wants to play Jeopardy.
See, this is what I mean. See, like I said, facts don't mean anything to ideologues. When you're an ideologue, it doesn't matter what you say, other than that you want it to be.
Don't have an ideology.
Nash is strictly a party ideologue.
I'm not even a member of either party. What are you talking about?
Oh, the hell you're not. That's what you say. Now I don't believe you. Now I don't believe what you just said.
For the folks who are new to Sarge, when you beat them in an argument...
Wait a minute, can I read to you what the 12th Amendment says? Or does it matter? Or it just doesn't matter?
Why are you over-talking me? Why you over-talking me all of a sudden?
Because you don't want the truth to come out, because you demagogues never want the truth to come out.
Okay, whoa, hold on, Sarge, wait a minute. Demagogue, Sarge, you the biggest demagogue we got.
See, here's what the man did. The man said that the reason Byron Donalds wasn't selected was because of racism. That's what he said. He said it like I didn't hear it. So I then responded by saying the 12th Amendment would from getting the electoral votes from Florida.
That is not what I said.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
What I said.
Go back and rewind that tape.
That's what he said.
Yes, he did.
What I just showed was black conservatives have no political ideology and no power within their own party, which is why they couldn't get one of their men up to fight. You said Daniels. I said fine. I said Tim Scott as well. You didn't say anything about that. Now,
no,
I didn't, and I did speak to Brian Johnson. And what makes you think that Tim Scott has such sterling characteristics that Donald Trump is required to pick him?
The point is, if you
now you answer my question.
I will. If you shut up, I will.
No, you haven't. You just pointed out there as though I'm supposed to accept your promise.
The point is, if you have a coalition.
See, he won't answer the question. He never does.
I'm answering it right now. The point
no,
is,
you're not.
You have a coalition. The point is, if you have a coalition, it is your duty to push power from your group. So as black conservatives, y'all should look at J.D. Vance as a slap in the face. Now notice one thing.
No, I don't, and I'll tell you why I don't, and I'm only speaking for Sarge. I'm not speaking for black conservatives. I'll tell you why I look at J.D. Vance as a fine choice. I will tell you why I do. And you don't want to hear it because you want to make up my own premise. You don't get to make up a premise for me. Wait a minute. You don't get to speak for me. I get to speak for me. And you want me to speak for somebody else?
Gentlemen.
Wait a minute. No, Shabaka. Oh, hell no, Shabaka. Hell no, Shabaka. I'm telling you right now, he doesn't get to speak for me. I get to speak for myself. And you don't even want me to speak for myself. You want me to speak for all conservatives, and you won't even fucking let me speak for myself.
Okay, Sarge, state your piece. Then we're going to take it to Chef Rob. Okay.
All right, let me explain something to you. Let me explain to you why I think J.D. Vance was the proper choice over Tim Scott and even Byron Donald. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. He's still blabbing.
Let him
he don't
finish,
want to
Chef Rob. Then come on and let him have it, Chef Rob.
He don't want to listen. He's still blabbing.
This ain't shit. Chef Rob, this Nas. No,
Nas. I'm sorry, my bad.
He don't want to listen to what I have to say. He wants to keep blabbing.
Okay, no. We want to hear what you got to say, Sarge.
Well, then, would you please tell him to stop speaking, and I will tell him why I think J.D. Vance was a better choice than Tim Scott.
Okay, J.D.
Get some water, have a seat. You'll have a minute to respond.
I don't need any of that. I know what I'm about to say, sir. I have a coherent point of view. Whether you agree with my point of view or not, my point of view is quite coherent. Whether you agree with it or not.
Okay, Sarge, you sure you ain't been hitting no joy juice, Sarge? You ain't been having no moonshine or anything, have you, Sarge?
Hey, do I sound like I'm drunk? Wait a minute, do I sound like I'm drunk? Come on.
No, Sarge, you don't, but I don't know if you had your joy juice or not, man.
Wait a minute, I sound like I'm energized, but I know I don't sound like I'm drunk.
He's not drunk.
See, you're still blabbing. I haven't been able to make my point yet. You're still blabbing.
Because I'm trying to finish. You still haven't let me finish. But this is what happens.
When are you ever going to finish? You made a point of trying to respond to it.
Sarge, goddamn, man, let the man finish and then respond, man. Because
how many times do you get to make new points?
Okay, go ahead, Nas. We're going to go to Sarge.
He's speaking for me. He's trying to speak for me.
He's still talking. So this is what happens when he gets cooked. When he doesn't have a point and you have him backed into the corner, that's when he starts playing Jeopardy. Well, what about the 12th Amendment? Let's read the 12th Amendment. That's when he
because it exists. That's why.
Hello, Reverend CP. Wake up.
What, you can ignore it?
Y'all see
what the hell's the matter with you?
Black conservatism
gentlemen.
is a dead ideology that cannot move either party.
You've already said that 3 or 4 times now.
I haven't been able to talk, but go ahead.
You haven't said anything new. You repeated that point about 5 times now.
Okay, Sarge, come on, Sarge. Let the man talk.
You won't stop.
Yeah, well, you keep saying the same thing over and over again. How many times you got to say it?
that didn't happen. I'm just emphasizing the point. But again,
yeah, you don't say. That's what I just said.
Yeah, so let's go back to this. As Black conservatives in the United States, can you pass any legislation specific for Black people? Simple question, simple answer.
I can't pass a single goddamn thing because I'm not a member of Congress or the House of Representatives or the Senate. That's what. Where did this guy get his understanding of government?
Oh, wow.
Jesus Christ, where did he get where did you learn civics?
What a cop out.
Hey, hello. Hey.
Yeah, nice.
Hey, Shabaka.
Yeah.
Shabaka.
Oh, the Alaskan. Okay. Yeah, the floor to the Alaskan.
Yes. Okay, I want to ask Naj one question. Okay,
sure.
He's saying when did they ever pass any legislation for the benefit of the Black people? Well, I gotta ask Naj this question.
That's not what I asked.
I'm going to ask.
Okay. Let the man ask his question, people. Come on now. Let the gentleman ask his question.
That's not what I asked. Let's get things correct.
Okay, what did you ask, Nas? Okay.
I asked, can they do it in this day and age? Not way back. Right now, can Black conservatives get legislation specific for Black people passed through the GOP? Simple question.
Okay. My simple answer to your question is a question. When was the last time the Congressional Black Caucus passed a law benefiting Black people?
They haven't.
And they don't have.
No, the Alaskan is right about that. They haven't, because me personally, I think the damn Congressional Black Caucus belongs to go right straight to fucking jail, to quote Al Pacino in And Justice for All, for dereliction of duty.
Okay. Now next. The next
charge.
The next.
So y'all not going to answer the question. Y'all not going to answer the question.
He answered part of it. I can answer the rest of it.
No, he asked me another question. He didn't answer the question.
All right. Well, fine. I thought it was a pretty good response for myself, but I got something to add to it.
Of course you would. You getting your
Yeah, and I got something to add to it. And you don't want to hear it, do you?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Here's what I'm saying.
Come
the
on,
answer to your question is, I do not think there is a single substantive act of legislation that Black people need in 2024. That's my response. So I haven't really considered it.
I disagree wholeheartedly, Sarge.
Okay.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
We have a real disagreement then.
Okay, Sarge, I disagree wholeheartedly on that. Oh, man, they need to pass all kind of legislation for us, man, for real. Yeah, go ahead, Chef.
What do we need then? Give me the most important.
This Nas, Shabaka, this Nas, man. But just notice in his answer what he said. He said he doesn't believe in it. That's fine. The question was about, can they do it? I'm exposing they don't have the power to do it. Black conservatives are powerless. That's the point.
So it's a moot point then.
No, it's not a moot point, Sarge. No, it's not a moot point. Naz is right on that, man. It's for the simple fact is they don't have no damn power. All you do is you see these ass-scratching, chicken-pecking Uncle Toms still sitting at a lunch counter begging for a cup of coffee. To quote Malcolm.
Shabaka, yes, you always have an ability, provided you can persuade others in a legislative body. That's how you do it. You have to figure out a way to persuade them to your point of view. That's how you do it.
Sarge. Okay, Sarge. You're from Chicago, man. Sarge, you're from Chicago. It was the home of Al Capone for many, many years. You know what I mean? They got certain traditions there. Hey, push some envelopes. But then again, man, you know, don't push some envelopes, because the only thing they're going to do is take our money, man, and bump our heads again.
Are you talking about election fraud? Are you advocating election fraud? Are you advocating election fraud
homie.
or extortion or intimidation? What are you advocating for here?
Extortion? Intimidation? Sarge, that is
I'm
an insult
asking
to
you.
my
I want to know.
intelligence.
It sounds suspiciously to me as though those are the things you are advocating for.
Sarge.
So
politicians,
anyway,
man. Go ahead, Nash.
Let me finish cooking this dude. So, Black.
You ain't had much luck thus far.
I'm sure you think so.
You gotta be kidding.
Hey, that's what people say when they on fire. You getting cooked.
No. I'm not saying. I let anybody listen to this tape and let him make an objective conclusion about it. You ain't laid a glove on me.
Yeah,
Sarge, you're about to take a stand in
a bunch of wild shots. All you done is throw a bunch of wild shots that didn't hit
you're about to take a stand in 8.
Hold on. He's trying to run out the clock. So let me expose the
He keeps asking one way to maybe the point.
Let Nash finish.
That was his biggest mistake.
Let me expose the last plank of what I'm talking about. So 6 months ago, the GOP put up a bill to put up new Confederate monuments across the South. Every Black conservative signed on to that bill. So again, they have no power to actually do anything, but they have to sign on to anything the GOP says that's not one of their wishes. So do you see what I'm talking about here? This is a non-entity politically. Black conservatives don't matter.
A double standard.
That's why they voted for that damn Confederate monument bill.
So tell me something. Then. Why are Black people harmed by putting up statues to Democrats? They were all Democrats.
Black people
putting up statues to memorialize all them damn rebel Democrats.
Okay, Sarge.
Conservatives, right?
Now, I know he won't answer the question. I know he won't answer the question, but I thought I'd just put it out there to see how he's going to evade it.
I'll easily answer that. So, no. So, the Democratic Party of the 1800s was a conservative party. So, the Democratic conservatives of that day, yes, they were Confederates. Yes, they were racist. Now, the GOP of today, why would they be building monuments to another?
So you want to abandon your legacy then? They should abandon their legacy?
Why would you be building monuments to another party's group?
Wait a minute, why do they want to abandon their legacy then? They want us to not know about it? Wait a minute, so you're telling me that the Democrats of today want to hide from us their history. Well, I agree with you, Naj. You're right.
No, they don't. We're talking about conservatives. So again, the conservatives.
Oh, no. You ain't getting away with that one, pal. No, sir. You're not getting away with that.
For anybody who needs additional reading on that, look up Kevin Cruz. He's a historian at Princeton. He wrote a book on it last year. You want another book on it? Look up Born in Blackness by Howard French. Came out 3 years ago. I got references.
Okay.
I'm not pulling shit out my ass like you.
Yeah, okay, pal. You want to talk about the radical Republicans? Who were the radical Republicans, Naj? Do you know who they were? I'll bet you can't name one, can you? I can. I'll tell you who they were. And I'll tell you all about the radical Republicans who weren't conservative. You want to hear about them?
Exactly. They weren't conservative.
So you admit that they existed. Like Thaddeus Stevens.
Of course.
Oh, you admit Thaddeus. How about John Logan? How about Benjamin Butler? How about Edwin Stanton? How about Ulysses S. Grant? How about Horace Greeley? How about Steve Powers?
Sarge.
How about William H. Seward?
No.
Okay, Sarge.
Hold on.
Sarge, Ulysses H. Grant was a drunk, man.
Wait a minute. See what I mean about you guys? A drunk can be a radical. Since when can I? What do you think Trotsky was? He was a fucking drunk, and he was a radical.
Did y'all notice?
Being a drunk to negate your radicalism because you're a drunk. It's win.
Did y'all notice how 7 minutes ago I told y'all when Sarge is getting his ass kicked, he started playing Jeopardy. Did y'all see what he just did? He didn't have a point.
Right.
So now he started asking Jeopardy questions. Turn your name
Dan,
on.
You were the one who claimed that the Democrats were conservative. You were the one that claimed Democrats were conservative. That was your argument, Naj, and I just turned your argument on its head, and you don't like it.
No, sir, you're getting cooked. It's tough.
You don't like it, Naj, because I just turned your argument inside out.
Boy, there is never a dull moment here at Shabaka'S Blacc Experience, ladies and gentlemen. And we are rumbling here, coming through from Sin City, Nevada. My.
You don't know what you're talking about. Play with something safe. Don't play with me. You know how these things end up, sir.
You got to change the subject now, don't you, pal? You've been caught,
You
buddy.
know what it is with me.
Just face up to it and take your ass whooping like a man. Take this ass whooping like a man. You'll feel better and your character will get stronger. You'll be stronger as a result of a good asshole.
Oh, man, this is some
Take it to heart. Enjoy it. Love it. Embrace it.
You can hear the punch coming out.
Embrace this asshole when you just got.
You don't know what you're talking
having
about.
a good night. He was having a good
Damn,
night.
I have a good night every night. I can't be beat. I fought like a first round, stay like a beat. I'm the greatest that ever was.
So, Sarge, you telling me that you the greatest of all time, huh?
All time.
Now, Sarge. Okay, now, Sarge. Tell me, Sarge. Okay, hold on, Nash, because you've been hitting him from the right. I'm about to hit him from the left. Okay, Sarge.
I'm going south. On me, huh?
Okay, no, I'm going southpaw on you, Sarge. Okay, Sarge. Now, what do you think about the heavyweight champion in 1967 who refused induction into the U.S. military? You know who I'm talking about, Sarge.
Of course I do. We talked about him many times. What's your point?
My point is this here, Sarge. Okay, when a heavyweight champion had raised the conscious level of young black youth of doing something positive, doing right by your family, doing right by your children, you know what I'm saying? And he projected a clean image publicly. What he did in his private life, man, don't know, don't care, but I appreciated the positive black male image that he has projected publicly. Because, Sarge, as you know, down there at 855 South Michigan Avenue that you have passed many times on Michigan Avenue in Chicago.
Hello, Reverend CP. Wake up. It's obvious you don't know what you're talking about.
Man, who is this trick, man? Show him the goddamn door, man. I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Shit. Motherfucker, I'm over 60 years old. I didn't make it this far being a goddamn idiot, and excuse my language, you know? I don't know what I'm talking about. Trick, please. Talk about something. Let's see if you know what the hell you talking about.
Yeah, why doesn't he talk about what he knows about rather than telling you what you don't know about?
Okay, but Sarge, just is it though. I'm always open for knowledge, Sarge. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we always want to erase ignorance.
Yeah, but I'm trying to understand what is the point of being accusatory to someone else if they don't know what they're talking about, and the person who doesn't contribute what they know about. That seems a little bit odd, don't you think?
Okay, Sarge. Okay, we got trolls. We've been doing this podcast for 8 years, man, and you, Sarge, have been with us for at least 5 that I know of, man, and we've heard everything on here. You know what I'm saying? Some dude coming up here, man, talking about his gay rights. Some dude going up there talking about gun rights, except for black folks. You see what I'm saying? And then old John Edgar Hoover, you know who he was, who ran the FBI, who had stated that the Black Panther Party was a threat to national security when they were exercising their Second Amendment rights, okay? It's because the public had a right to be free away from police brutality, Sarge. Come on now.
Well, I hope you don't think I'm going to argue against that, do you? You don't think I am, do you?
No. On that, you know, we pretty much are in agreement on that. And then, of course, I know Dr. Newton had some personal issues. Okay,
oh, no shit. Like kidnapping women and raping them?
Okay, hold
and
on,
drug
Sarge. I'm not going
dealers?
to say that. Okay,
Picking up drug dealers and extorting their money? We got him killed.
Okay, Sarge. Listen to me when I tell you this. I could take you in Oakland, California, on the street and on the corner where he was shot and killed, okay? In 1988, as a matter of fact, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the point is this. Okay, all right, Sarge. But the point is that still does not take away from the man's contribution to our history. Just like Frederick Douglass, when he beat the living dog shit out of the slave owner, and rightfully so, and he had to realize he had to get out of Dodge. Freddie D wound up in San Francisco, you know what I'm saying, where your woman, Kamala, you know what I'm saying, you know, was doing her dastardly deeds with Willie Brown and things of that nature right there. Let's look at Dr. Martin Luther King. Okay, Dr. King, hold it, Sarge. Dr. King had some issues, okay, that still does not take away from his contribution to our history. Okay, Barack Obama, well, that's open for a debate, okay, it's because Barack
you might
Obama...
ask Sinclair about that.
Okay, but then even still, but Barack Obama is going to go over there, man, to Kenya, and he's going to talk up to raising a rainbow flag to a culture that does not believe in that bullshit. Okay, just like old Biden with his decrepit old senile ass, you see what I mean, is going to send his envoy over there to President Museveni of Uganda, and Biden's envoy informed the president of Uganda, if you don't go with this alphabetized agenda, we will take away your aid. President Museveni said, look, Trick, let me explain something to you. We place great emphasis on procreation of life here in the nation of Uganda. The same place of eating. I mean, Dada, nobody fool, Big Daddy. Okay, and then you told him, look, man, we don't do that here, so get your ass up out my office, man, you know what I'm saying, and don't come back here. And he's standing there with his mouth open, man, shitting in his pants, okay? And I have to respect President Museveni for that. Hey, man, that's what you all want to do, go right ahead. That's your business. But you're not going to come bring that shit here. You see what I mean? And that's what the city of San Francisco is about. You go up there, man, and you call a man, you go call one of these dudes who identifies himself as a woman, and you call him a man, 30 days in the San Francisco County Jail. I wonder how many cases that old cop Mala enforced on that one. 30 days
hey,
in the county jail.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Shabak, I got a question. Have you seen a lot of the right-wing criticism of Kamala when they talk about, or Kamala, however you pronounce it, talk about her being the border czar? Have you seen that online?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're saying that she and Biden are not doing nothing to secure the border. And then on top of it, too, you got them allow these migrants to come in except for the Haitians. When the Haitians try to cross the border, give them the blood. Attention whites down there with whips, hitting the black ones with the whips.
So the question I'm gonna ask you, Shabaka, is I want you to go on USA.gov, any federal site you can think of, see if you can find a governmental position that says borders are.
Okay, I'll do that there, Nas. Okay, Brother Trey, could you please make a note of that there, man, for Nas, man, and then when I call you, Brother Trey, I'll jot it down.
Shabaka, you know the President of the United States is. You know what the president of the United States is?
Damn, man. Why you
I'm going to answer what you just said.
Okay, hold on, Sarge. Okay, hold on, Sarge. Let Nas finish, Sarge, and then we'll go to you. Okay, please finish what you were saying, Nas, and then we're going to go to Sarge.
Yeah, calm down, superstar. You ain't got to talk every minute. So the point of that is there's no
talk every minute. I don't wait for you to fall into my trap. You just did.
There's no position called border czar in America. Kamala Harris was not a border czar. So most of the articles that you read about it, you'll see border czar in quotes because they're saying quote unquote border czar. It's not an actual position. So just notice the framing and the ability to lie that the right does 24/7, all the time. Just lie. They got lying people. Again,
all right, repetition is not going to make it true.
In the U.S. government.
Innumerable repetitions are not going to make something true. Now, I'd like to respond to what you just said. Here's the story. Here's the story. The President of the United States is the Chief Executive Officer of the United States. The President of the United States, known as Obama, who, by the way, was an illegitimate, non-natural born citizen president, but nonetheless, people believed he was actually the President of the United States. He assigned a job to Joe. Wait a minute. I listened while you said it. Let me finish because I'm not going to be as long-winded as you. What Barack Obama did was to assign a job to his vice president. He delegated his authority to Joe Biden to go to Ukraine and decide whether or not monies allocated to Ukraine should be allocated to them based on his judgment. Remember? What did he say in that video? What? Ask the president. Because the president delegated the authority to him as he is entirely constitutionally allowed to do. Similarly, President Joe Biden delegated powers to Kamala Harris. He instructed his subordinates to cooperate with her in promulgating policy to secure the border. And guess what? Kamala Harris not once, never, ever had a meeting with the Border Patrol chief. That's how incompetent the bitch was.
Yeah, so you're incorrect. So her actual list.
The hell I am. I can back up everything I just said.
Her actual listed duties were to study.
You didn't hear what I said. You act like the best. Who was Harry Hopkins?
No, you're wrong.
Hey, who was Harry Hopkins there, Naj? Who was Harry Hopkins?
I heard what you said. You're wrong. That's the
issue. All right, so don't tell me the president cannot delegate authority to others.
Moving on, because you're wrong.
Yeah, you better, because you know I got you on this one.
The actual duties of Kamala Harris were.
Yeah, we're not arguing that.
Why?
She was given additional duties, which she accepted.
Dude, why are you talking?
The president delegated authority to her as is his work
why are
to
you
do.
Talking when you should be listening? You just
because you know it's true.
Wrong.
You know it's true.
Wrong. Now I'm going to clean up where you were wrong. So Kamala's actual duties were to study why there was a proliferation of people coming over the border and also to look into the asylum data at the border. That was her
position.
What did
she come up with?
The person who actually was supposed to police the border, as you're talking about, that's Mayorkas. If you want to criticize Mayorkas, that's the guy who had the job. There's no Kamala as a border czar. So again, the right wing lies all of the time.
He skipped over everything I said.
Why I just refuted everything you said. What
no,
you said was wrong.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
No, you didn't.
Now we're doing
you didn't disprove anything I just said.
Antics. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. You said those.
Look, we know who has the statutory authority for the border. I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing that Mayorkas doesn't have the statutory authority of the border. But if the president of the United States tells any citizen to cooperate with, or rather any subordinate of his to cooperate with anybody he designates in any public policy, then that official has the obligation to follow the president's instructions. And one of those citizens was Kamala Harris.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna do this play thing that he likes to do. I'm gonna send y'all.
See, that's what I mean. Like Harry Hopkins didn't exist. Like Henry Kissinger didn't exist. Like Condoleezza Rice didn't exist. Like Susan Rice didn't exist.
What are you doing, man?
All of these people didn't hold a statutory position. No one even confirmed by the Senate. But they all had tremendous influence in every one of those presidential administrations, and you and I both know it. Because they were given the authority by the president that they worked for.
So I'm going to send y'all to the actual sources.
See what I mean? He just ignores it because he knows it's true.
No, because I'm giving people actual sources, not bullshit out of my ass. Go to
Okay, Nas, that'll work. Yeah.
That brings up the
article. Tell me where the president can't do what I just said. That's the source I want to hear from you. That the president cannot delegate authority to the vice president and instruct his subordinates to work with them on that policy. I want you to show me where the president is forbidden to do that.
Nobody said the president was forbidden.
Well, you're not going to be able to find it, and you know it.
I'm giving y'all.
You fell into my trap, buddy. Now, while you want to extricate yourself from the trap, I'll throw you a lifeline.
Would you just stop talking? Did you just do that?
Yeah. That's the only way you're going to prevail. The only way you're going to prevail is if I stop talking. You're not going to prevail any other way.
I'm sending y'all to the actual sources where you can read it for yourself and make your own determination.
Here we go again.
Not believing because Sarge said so.
Okay.
That ain't a reference.
Yeah. Who nominated Susan Rice to a job? What Senate confirmed her?
We're not talking about Susan Rice.
How about Valerie Jarrett?
We're talking about this.
Did they have influence in the administration? Did Obama appoint his subordinates to work with them? Yes, he did.
Jeopardy man, we're not talking
about what I mean about him, man. He knows damn well what I'm saying is true. He knows it. He doesn't want to admit it because he fell into my trap. Thank you. Thanks for making my case easy.
Yeah, you set a trap and stepped in it your damn self, you fool.
Oh yeah, whatever. Sure. Okay, let's move on. You got anything else to add to this?
I bet you do want to move on.
Yeah, you bet. I advise you do precisely that. Yeah, you ought to do it.
Okay, folks. Okay, so what we're going to do so we can have a complete episode, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to start our closing comments, and I'm going to go first, and then I'm going to ask Brother Che to designate who we got left, you know what I'm saying, because I see Joe Gibson fell off. I think we had a couple of other people fall off. Okay, which is great. Well, this is Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from Sin City. The air date of this episode is July 23rd, 2024. So for those of you in the future who are listening to this like in 2099 or 2100 or what have you, you could tell that these were some wacky times at the earlier part of the 21st century. And Lord knows, man, of how the center part of this century is going to be so fucked up and confused. I won't be here just off the law of biophysics. And all I just simply say, folks, in the future, please make intelligent decisions. And also to gentlemen, okay, for you individual men out there who are shoving ketchup up your ass, talking about you having a menstrual cycle, please remember that this is an insult to womanhood. I'm done. Okay, Brother Che, please, go through the closing comments and yes, sir.
Who?
The Alaskan.
Well, all I can say is that it was a real interesting show that fell into the movie of Idiocracy.
Well, Alaskan, you will get no argument from me on this one, man, because sometimes we just let the water flow, and it's about 108 degrees out here in this temperature, and I'm afraid to turn on this air conditioning in here, you know what I mean? It's because I needed to work in the evening hours when I go to sleep. But however, though, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get away from idiocy, is because the Alaskan, we really do appreciate his time, and then as you know, Sarge, if we disagree, folks, please let us disagree agreeably. It's because we're in season 8 right now. And also, too, folks, that we're going to be revitalizing this platform in a very, very near future, okay, because we're going to have it more professional, you know what I mean? It's because we're turning this here into a business, you know. And it's not so much to make $1 million, it's just to make a decent living. Is because Brother Parrish and myself, we've been going out of our pockets deeply. We need some help, you know. This damn platform is taking water on like the Titanic, you know what I mean? And so we do the best that we can. Also, too, definitely check out Front Line Blacc News, and which Shabaka'S Blacc Experience enhances division of. And we, you know, we welcome all comments, and we just ask one thing: if we're gonna disagree, please let us disagree agreeably. And Sarge, you got to leave that napkin holder of yours at home, Sarge. I mean, you up here whacking people, filing, man, going all upside their head. You know what I'm saying? Going in their pocket, man, bugging them and stuff like this right here. But then again, Sarge, you know, you dealt with the city of Chicago. And the great city of Chicago, ladies and gentlemen, has certain traditions. After all, it was the home of Al Capone for many, many years.
Well, it was also hard-won proficiency there, brother. Took me a long time to get you said bare knuckle balling, but I'm pretty good at it by now.
Okay.
Well, look, man, look, there's a lot of issues that are here to be had. And, you know, I think they are best, reconciliation is best achieved by an honest dialogue that actually pays attention to the opponent's argument and either refutes them, agrees with them, or disagrees with them, but disagrees them with the basis with an honest response to what they say. And I think all of us should strive to do precisely that.
All right. Okay. Okay, Sarge, how can we get in touch with you, Sarge? Okay, because we're going to make you the guest host, Sarge, if Blog Talk decides not to screw up again on Grand Rising, okay? And that is 11 o'clock in the morning, man, for you. So you should be up, have your moonshine and what have you, and walk the dog and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And then I'll be down in coffee and smoking a half a cigar right here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to make sure you're awake. I want to make sure you're awake for this repartee with me.
All right, Sarge. Okay, Sarge. Okay, Sarge. Okay. Now, you heard it right here, ladies and gentlemen. Sarge will be the guest host in 3 days coming up on Friday. This Friday at 8 a.m. in the Pacific, 11 a.m. On the East Coast right there. Okay, so after I wake up, have my coffee and wake up Brother Che, you know what I'm saying, after he has his, because he's an hour ahead of me. Okay, and then we will have the guest host of the one and only Sarge, and the one who's going to be asking a whole lot of questions on this one here, Sarge, is yours truly. You see,
I ain't got no problem with that. I love it. I love it.
And Sarge, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to write down my questions, man, because I mean, you're like Joe Frazier, man. I'm your Ali. You take a beating, but you keep on ticking. You know what I'm saying? You know, you ain't no joke, Sarge. And one thing about defeating your opponent, Sarge, is that you got to assess, you know, his lethalness. You know what I mean? The greatest of all time had said that, you know, because you got warfare on a physical basis, you got warfare on a spiritual basis, and you have warfare on an intellectual basis. Okay? Well, and by the way, my closing comment is that I'm looking at this fantasy called Rocky, you know what I'm saying, that won Best Picture, you know what I'm saying, it's a good movie, but there's nowhere in hell that Rocky Balboa was going to defeat Muhammad Ali. That wasn't going to happen. And I yield. Okay? Take us down the list, Brother Chair, who we got left. I'm done. I'm out of gas, y'all. And thank you for joining.
Yes, sir. First things first, all people who have contributed to Blog Talk Radio, y'all send them folks an email and get you a refund. What they did to y'all over the past couple of weeks is agree to get y'all money back. And the second thing I'm going to talk about is this. J.D. Vance was a bad pick. He's stale on the mic. He doesn't bring anything to MAGA. He looks like he might be an anchor that Trump has to carry over the finish line. Right now, Trump is the favorite, and I want y'all to really think about something. If he doesn't win, he's lost 2 out of 3 elections, and the MAGA movement dies. Y'all better win this election if y'all serious Trumpers. Y'all better win this election, because if you don't, it's over.
And that'd be great news.
And national GOP takes back their party if y'all don't win this election. Y'all are done.
Yes, sir. All right, moving on down the line. Okay, I'm putting myself on mute.
Oh man, doggone it. Right now I'm restarting my modem, trying to get it to start so I can get back in the chat room. If you notice, I'm dropped out of it. And I'm trying to get back in right now. Yeah. No sweat. I shall be there.
This coming Friday, Sarge. This coming Friday at 1100 hours your time, you're going to be the guest host. And we definitely appreciate the Alaskan for his input, you know what I mean? And what have you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm amazed y'all ain't talked about Sonia Massey yet. When y'all gonna talk about Sonia Massey?
Indeed. Yes, sir.
State sanctioned. They charged him with murder. How do they sanction something and then they charge the guy with murder?
Well said, Brother Shay. Well said.
They charge the guy with murder. He's been arrested and charged with murder, man. He's indicted.
Now they did that. Initially, they allowed the police report where he said none of the acts we've seen on video happened. He claimed to be attacked and had to respond to save his life in his police report. Then, after the Freedom of Information Act, where people demanded that the video be released, now we know all the information. So sorry,
an indictment within 14 days is pretty quick, if you ask me, knowing what I know about indictment.
Because the video was so damning, that's why.
Well, whatever the reason, it came pretty quickly.
For whatever the reason.
Yeah, whatever the reason, it came pretty quickly. I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah, my bad. Okay.
Okay, we need to go out with Ship Ahoy by the OJs. That tells the story of the suffrage of our people coming into the Americas.
There we go.
All right, welcome back in year 2.
And we're signing off from Las Vegas, Nevada, Sin City, Nevada, the Mississippi of the West.
Yes.
And thank y'all who participated online. Mac 285 with Twin Pyramid. Always much love and appreciation to both of y'all. So we will see y'all later. I don't know. RBA might be coming on. Stay for that. Front Line Blacc News on Saturday. And it's about to Spencer House on Friday. So peace, love, light, reparation, separation. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to Front Line Blacc News on Facebook and YouTube, and Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced on Facebook and Twitter, now X.com. Peace, love, light, reparation, separation, and Black empowerment. Harry Pullman, Jessica Harris, Ohio State House 58 representative, candidate on the ballot, signing out.